Hey, there we go. What's up, guys and girls? Let's adjust the volume just down a little bit. That should be more comfortable. Hello, welcome back to the second episode of Roll Corruption, where our group are in a little bit of a pickle and we should be having a little bit of fun. Firstly, a few shout-outs. Firstly, Sirenscape, shout-out for a good quantity of the audio and some of the music. Witcher 3 official soundtrack, Vermintide 2, because I did mention that I would credit all of them, seeing as I'm using their stuff. Nice backgrounds taken from photo mode within Vermintide 2, by the way. What else do we have to shout out? I think that's pretty much it. Now, Ludwig, the player, who was playing the stiff and stern warrior priest from the last session, is not going to be playing with us today. He is doing things in the city right now, presumably being totally righteous and stopping people doing bad things. So a quick, should we get a recap of last session? Who would like, out of you wonderful players, to give us a little bit of a recap on what the hell's going on?
There was a pig that fell.
Well, there was a pig. Let's put it in order first. So I'll get the ball rolling for you. So Oleg and Rogel arrived in Altdorf and were taken to a building. Over to you.
Rogel, this was your expertise.
What do you mean it was my expertise?
Well, you broke through the magic illusion on the door that had ensnared Oleg. And then once you broke through that illusion, the Grey Order hired us to do a task for them.
I know, right? The Grey Order hired us to do... Well, I don't even know if it was the Grey Order. I'm assuming it was the Grey Order that hired us to do a task for them. But we haven't even gone there yet. So we have, 2 more days left to get on the boat?
Yeah, so we're going to pop around Altdorf 2 days?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So the last time we popped around a little bit, doing some odd jobs here and there. Most memorable for me was us helping some weird shifty debutante with her many suitors.
Okay, well, we can get to that, but if we're going in order, before that, we did get hired by a dwarf after
the sewers
meal, and we went to the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
A very happy dwarf as well.
But, yeah, in the sewers, we had two heroes, actually. We had our rat catcher, Carl, and also the dwarf NPC himself, who saved Carl's doggo, but...
yeah, he was quite the hero.
Carl, how did we beat that sewer?
How did we beat it?
Yeah.
Probably because the dwarf turned into a dwarven bowling ball. And managed to obliterate most of the
bombs everywhere.
He did do a bit of the heavy lifting.
Most of it.
Most of it.
Yeah, he did all right. He did all right. And then...
than us.
That's what happens when you give a dwarf black powder.
Indeed. And then you met with your debutante while your warrior priest was off studying the castle that you guys are going to be heading to, which unfortunately begins with D and ends in Achenfels. And meanwhile, what were you up to with the pig?
Well, the debutante wanted us to dress a pig up in her dress and throw it out a window to fake her death, which we failed miserably at, last I recall. It took us forever to get the pig out the window, and by the time it went splatter, it had bewildered her soon-to-be husband so much that he decided to take his own life and jump after her. Or it could have been Rogel's magic. To distract him.
I did kind of go over and above and beyond with the scary sounds.
Yeah, making pterodactyl sounds or something. That was where we find ourselves now, in the 3rd story of a shabby apartment building owned by an old lady who won't stop her incessant talking.
Absolutely.
And scene.
Absolutely. A quick, again, just a very brief overview. Razan has currently appeared to have climbed in, or started climbing in a window just above on the top floor there. Rogel, you are currently stood up there looking and having watched a man jump over the edge after a pig thrown in the dress was thrown out of the top floor window. Carl is currently...
I wonder if I could, is there magic that could bring him back? I wonder.
Maybe, but for now, no. Carl is talking to an old lady while holding his dog, who can barely walk right now, having been bitten and chewed by numerous rats. And Oleg and Yoris are looking out the window at a pig that sort of made a bit of a splat, but still looks a bit like a pig in a dress, and a man next to, another pig, some could say, sniff, 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 who presumably has several broken things and doesn't seem to be moving. So, on the streets beneath you right now, there doesn't seem to have been much commotion. That's getting on for sort of 10, 11, sun's been down a little while. There's not too much light around other than the occasional lantern, but you would suspect it'll only be moments before someone reacts to this. What are you going to do?
Joris is going to take one look at Oleg, one look at the pig, and basically get the hell out. And shouting, let's go, let's go! This is turning sour.
Oleg, an old hand, knowing, when things go south because of his brother, just follows right after. He does give a little wave to the old lady as they pass by, though.
The old lady is still trying to lock conversation with you, Carl, and she's deeply enthralled regarding the method in which you use to catch rats.
I'll probably keep talking to her for a bit.
Okay, you're waiting till the others are out the room.
Yeah.
Okay, you rolled a 6 last time, so she's still deeply, deeply enthralled with you. So, yep, you can wait till they've shifted out and try and make your way out. Rogel, what are you doing on the roof?
Well, as their target has just killed themselves, I'm just looking down. I see a dead body.
Are you going toward the edge? Are you? Because currently you're kind of at the back of the roof, near the latch which you've climbed up from. So.
Well, then I should probably just go back the way I came, shrugging as I go.
There is a picnic basket up there and some food scraps that are sort of within the center
never mind.
of the roof.
No, I'm gonna pilfer before I go. Thank you.
Okay, a quick pilfer.
The heads up on that.
How fast do you want to be with this? Are you trying to snatch just a couple of things and go, or
just big things? Like if there's a basket, grab the basket. If anything that's just quick, throw stuff in. Go.
There is a basket,
gone.
And it appears to be ladled with a bit of sort of china crockery and perhaps a few bits of silverware. At a quick glance, there is obviously food in, a few apples, perhaps a pie or two. Smells nice.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, take it and run. It's as you begin to lift and move it, it's not quiet. It clangs and clutters as you move.
Oh no!
Just to give a heads up.
Cool.
So, where are you going with said basket?
Back down the chute, down to the hallway, meet up with them.
Okay. As you start making your way down the ladder, one of the doors has opened within the corridor. A large burly man steps out, shouting back behind him inside his presumably home. I'll go check it out, it's alright. Oh, hello. What's going on up there? Heard a scream.
Yeah, me too. I just came out here to see what was going on, but I didn't see anyone out here.
Make a charm test. Have a plus... Yeah, have a plus 20.
Charm.
Yeah.
Charmed.
We're just going to roll an intuition.
I want to...
Oh, boy.
I will just roll a D100
It's
then.
fine. It's absolutely fine. Do you not have charm? Oh, dear. Yeah, just roll a D100 then.
Oh, my God.
Do a space in there.
Space.
Okay.
There we go. I failed either way, but I couldn't click on it. So
he looks at you. His eyes and eyebrows start to sort of burrow down a little bit as he squints towards you. Where'd you get that basket? What are you doing up there? I saw you climb down the ladder.
Well, I heard a scream and some weird screeching, so I just, went up there, checked it out, and came back down. Is there a problem?
He goes to reach toward the basket. Presumably you're now on the same floor as Oleg, Carl, and Joris. Joris, Carl, Oleg, you will be seeing this man converse with Rogel.
Have I managed to disentangle myself from the little old lady then?
You have indeed. Rogel, the man, is reaching toward the basket to see what's in it.
Aha! Oh, hello, friend. I see you. And Oleg rushes over towards Rogel. Aha! Thank you for bringing the basket. You see.
Thank you. This big guy was making me scared. He's like trying to touch me.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you reaching towards my friend?
He was up there, and I heard a scream. What's going on here?
We all heard screams. We were visiting our good friend down the hallway, and he went up to investigate for us.
I don't trust him.
Did you? Well, he's he's small. Who can trust small, right? So maybe.
I just roll my eyes really hard.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best personality. So why do you not trust him?
Because he rolled a 2 on his intuition check. He goes to grab you by the arm, Rogel, not in like a necessarily harmful way, but I think we should wait till the guard get here, see what they make of all this.
At this point, Joris will say in a rather loud and commanding sounding voice, "Right, sir, this is enough. You have to let them go. Go inside. We've got it under control. Just lock the door and you will be..." And I will try to roll a leadership test to see if he listens.
Okay, you can try and order him around and try and sound like the authority here. You'll have a -10 because you're a lower class than him.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh no, that's horrible.
I am silver 1.
Okay. No, you're okay actually then. You're okay. Oh. Yeah, you're silver 1. Damn. These sailors. And it will be opposed by his willpower.
Can I assist him with that?
Have
how I'm silver 2.
Have a +10.
Roll.
Oh dear. You guys aren't allowed to roll.
Nope. I'll roll the 100.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier.
Right. So we may have a bit of a problem. Let me have a little check. Right. So what are you rolling there? Leadership?
Yeah, leadership is 43.
Yeah, it won't actually let you roll, will it? Okay, so we'll be rolling D100s today, guys. Combat still works, that's the good news. And he is going to be rolling that to... I rolled it as you for some reason. I had your token selected. Yes, unfortunately, no cigar.
Okay.
No, the guards will be here soon. We should wait. You can hear presumably his partner inside the room inquire, "What's going on out there, Harold?" "Quiet, I've got it under control."
"Sir, if you do not let go of my friend, I will be forced to do something that both of us will regret. He is very important to one of the colleges, and you might catch something just by touching him."
You can roll me an intimidate test, if that's your...
It is.
You can roll an intimidate test.
"You might not want to touch me."
Okay, he finally rolled badly. What's your intimidate value?
My intimidate value is 56.
56. Okay, so you passed. He failed, so... All right then, but I'm going to tell them about you when they get here, all right? Don't go anywhere. He backs off a little bit, seeming a bit coy, closes the door.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Bye.
Down the end of the corridor, you can see Roseanne exiting from another room and making her way down the corridor. And as she does, she sort of waves her handkerchief into the room behind her. "I'll call you later, love. Bye." Turns around, looks at you briefly, and starts to move briskly out of the building.
Can we find a different way out?
There's one main stairwell.
That's it. Okay, we follow her down then.
Follow her down. As you reach the bottom of the building, she is running by now, full pelt. So she's not necessarily running away from you. She didn't pull an expression of sort of, "Oh my god, it's them." It's more like just a general sort of panicked look as she was leaving. She looked to be in a rush.
We chase after her. Oleg starts chasing after her while yelling, "Stop, murderer!"
Oh my god.
Guards, help! She murdered her soon-to-be husband and pushed him off a balcony.
Roll an athletics test first to see if
Oh
you can
my
catch
God.
up with her.
Okay. It's gonna fail.
Agility 40 for her.
Oh, yeah. fail.
Okay, she is gone. She just, like a cat, she just disappears down an alleyway, and you don't know if she heard you or not. But she's gone. And the rest of you, as you go outside the door, there is that pig, there is that body beside you. A couple of
Place to
people
get
in the
meat.
distance starting to walk toward.
We don't have anyone with heal, do we, to check to see if he's still alive?
I think our healer is in the city.
Yeah,
doing
your
other
healer's currently
Gossip
studying.
stuff.
He's stuck.
Right. Time to stealth out of this, then.
Yeah.
Right, so you're giving it legs.
Yeah. Well, I've
Yep.
got stealth move in the urban anyway.
Okay. So are you guys just going to try and like sneak out through between a few buildings and sort of make your way quietly away, or are you just going to?
No. I'm going to casually walk away, just like everything's fine. It's
Okay.
got nothing to do with me. And then when I'm out of sight, I'm going to bolt.
Okay, sure, fine.
Okay.
The
And
guards haven't shown up yet or anything, have they?
there is a group of people that are walking in the direction. You can hear a little bit of a commotion, but
Yeah, I would assume there's going to be a gaggle showing up for the two bodies on the ground, but like the guards
Dude.
haven't been.
you
haven't
can't
showed
see
up
any
yet?
guards in your immediate vicinity.
Did the people in the surroundings hear Oleg yelling about her?
No, they were the opposite
Probably.
direction.
Oh,
They were the other way down the street. She ran away from the people that were coming. So, Oleg, you having given chase, you're a bit in the clear. Rogel, you've got like 5 to 10 seconds stood next to those bodies if you want to do anything, but otherwise you're going to have,
no, I
you're
want to.
gonna have
I want to
company.
go. I want to
Okay,
get out of
you
here.
all get the hell out of there. You're gone. Following the alleyway that Oleg ran down to give chase to Roseanne down by the side of the
Yes.
building.
Slow waddle.
You guys make your way into the night. It's dark, it's creepy. Seconds later, as you're making your way down, you can hear a few faint sort of screams and shouts and cries out for guard in the background, which you presume will be heard given that they are at full pelt. But you are in the midst of the city, in the arse end of nowhere. What would you like to do?
Go to bed. It's like almost midnight now, I would assume.
Well, we got the fight club
Yeah.
at midnight.
Is that tonight
Yes.
or is that tomorrow night?
Nope.
Oh,
tonight.
Fight Club. Yes.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we've got to somehow loop back round all these people that are now looking and get to the
I
tavern.
don't believe we're near the neighborhood where the fight club's happening.
Well, we can't go back through it, I mean.
You've got to make your way to the slums, which you'd have been given some rough directions to from before. It is the other side of town, so it's going to take you probably the best part of half an hour to walk to.
Okay.
Well, we may as well go, put distance between us.
And as we walk, I'm gonna go ahead and like move stuff from the basket into my bags
Mm-hmm.
and ditch the basket.
Okay. You certainly can do so. It's because of the quantity of metal and china, you just, as a heads up, you are in effect moving with chainmail. So
Oleg,
as you
I
walk,
need help
it
carrying the
clanks and
booty.
clutters. Predominantly plates, a couple of cups. As you've made your way briskly, a couple of them seem to have a couple of small chips for the china, but there is a little bit of silverware in there too. It all seems to be pressed with a family seal.
Too bad we lost our appraisers, right? Ah,
Indeed.
to hanging.
And the initials BH are sort of engraved into the silverware you notice as you're sort of placing it inside your bag. Right.
BH, huh?
BH. Which would not surprise you too much, given she referred to him as Bernhardt.
Oh. So wait. Are these like... never mind. I'll ask that later.
Okay. So you're making your way to the slums? Or are you stopping off anywhere en route?
Slums.
Slums.
Yep.
We could throw the chipped china at people in the fighting pit.
Okay. As you make your way there, are you taking time to avoid any guards, or are you...
Definitely.
Yeah, not looking to get accosted.
Okay. Whoever's leading the way, I'll allow 2 of you a perception test at a flat test to listen for guards. Actually, plus 20. Because you can hear them clattering and clanging their way down the streets, as quite a few of them wear pieces of metal armour, etc.
I'm being very, very cautious, so I'll go ahead and roll one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So my total's a 50, so let's just do roll 1d100.
Fine.
Oh, look at that.
Rogel, you sniff out a few guards that are patrolling. You successfully manage to sort of orientate the group away. Not necessarily because they're hunting you, but just because moving outside at night tends to normally attract some degree of attention from guards. Normally you're seen as suspicious of doing something if you're out late. And the streets are very quiet. There's a few individuals making their way around, but most of them, when they see you or if they lock eyes with you, quickly sort of scurry away. It's you get the impression that folk do not like being out at this time, and if they do, they're highly suspicious of others. Right. So it takes about half an hour's worth of wandering, and the time is late, and it's approaching the point you would expect this to be starting when the moon is at its highest. Looking up above, occasionally in between the buildings you can get sight of the moon. It's nearly full, glowing a decent glow. You find your way through an archway and to your destination where you were given directions to, at which point you see sat down in front of you a giant behemoth of a creature, an ogre, currently sat down next to a large pile of hay. He has a small hat that sort of barely fits on top of his head. You here for fight?
Oh man, look at this guy.
He's as big as the other one, huh?
Yeah. He's kind of scary, but you know what? I dig him.
Okay.
You here for fight?
Yes.
Yeah, we're here for the fight.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's gonna eyeball you up and down for a moment. Smiles at you with perhaps only 2 teeth showing. All right. Holds out a cup in front of him. 2 pennies. Starts pointing to each of you.
Okay.
He points at 1 and 2. Points at Oleg. 2. Points at Carl. 2. And then you can see him then raising up his fingers, attempting to try and sort of do the maths.
I pay him my 2
Oleg.
pennies. I put 2 in.
Oleg points to the 2 pennies. Like 2.
Yeah, chuck him 2 pennies in the cup.
Okay, 2 pennies in his cup. Beside him, he takes his arm and moves to one side a very large portion of hay, revealing the entrance to a cellar. The moment he moves the hay, you can hear a very faint sort of rumble from down beneath. It seems that it was insulating the sound to a point. The rumble being the sounds of voices, something fairly boisterous going on. You get the impression you're in the right place.
Sounds like a party to me.
There's a little bit of music coming in. It's more sort of drumming. It's there's someone playing something down there though. But he opens up one of the latches and fighting. Points downstairs.
Oh, okie doke. Thank you, sir. Oleg ambles down.
He lifts his hat as you walk past, and you hear the door close, and you hear and see behind you the sort of cracks of light disappear, as presumably he's covering the entrance back up with hay again. As you arrive down, there is certainly a bit of a sort of a boisterous quantity of noise going on. Let's switch to some more appropriate music. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll go with... No, we'll stick with that. We'll stick with that. As you arrive downstairs...
This is like battle charge kind of music.
It is.
Yeah.
There is about 30 individuals as you arrive down, all surrounding what you would commonly associate as being a sort of a fridge or freezer pit. So within the centre of this room, there is about an 8-foot drop. This is all bricked and stoned over. All of the individuals who are currently stood surrounding this pit, largely cheering, raising glasses, pints. Around the edge of the room, it's evident that this is a cellar of sorts, as there are barrels and barrels and barrels of ale. A few individuals are pouring glasses, cups, tankards, etc. for individuals, and the majority of them simply looking down inside and shouting. You can notice at this point a few of them are armed with spears and sort of pointing down and sort of occasionally making a jabbing motion. And at the end of the room, there is one individual in particular who is sort of beaconing out and taking small notes and coins from individuals. He stands atop a box with a large top hat on his head. Presumably looks like he's taking bets.
Oh, well, that looks like where I'm going to be.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Oh, like, are you going to fight?
Yeah, Oleg's gonna look around for maybe wherever the entry area could be for like entering into the fights.
Okay. Well, as you move towards, you can see down in the pit currently, restrained and tied by numerous towels, rags, ropes, and chains, is something with a sack over its head. It's kind of bound to a chair as well, of all things. You can vaguely make out its legs, which appear to be like a thick fur, almost like it's wearing a fur coat on its legs, or that its legs are indeed just fur-based. The other side of the pit is a topless man currently who's in the process of rubbing some dirt and grime over himself and let's say limbering up, doing the motions, a few sort of shadow punches here and there. The crowd either side shouting quite loudly and cheering him on. It looks a fairly thick, muscular man, but there is a little bit of sort of trepidation on his face. All you can tell is that there is a little bit of rope in the corner that you would assume he had been lowered down from or climbed down from. Rogel and Yoris, are you inquiring regarding bets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
As you're approaching, the individual is currently taking coins from a number of different individuals. Now remember the rules. Throw it into the pit to keep 'em fighting for me, and we'll have ourselves a good time. If you want to place a bet, however, you don't get yourself your winning, but you've got to tell us which rounds they're going to last until. One of the smaller halflings that's currently there says, I reckon he'll last 3 rounds. I'll put 4 pennies on 3 rounds. Takes a bit of chalk to his side. 4 pennies for 3 rounds for the halfling. Any other bets? Points towards you.
What's the maximum number of rounds? Or is it
He
just
looks confused at you for a second. I don't know. Depends when they die.
I'm going to look around. So, like, who looks like they're actually fighting? Like, is there like an area where the contestants are hanging out or something? Are they?
There's only the
or
pit.
Are they in another room?
There's only the pit currently, with one individual down inside it, and this other one that's tied, bound up, and there's a few other people in the room that look fairly burly, let's say, but no one else. There doesn't seem to necessarily be like a fighter's corner. Nothing quite so formal anyway.
Okay. We can't see where they're hanging out. All right.
You can't see the contestants. Basically, the bets are for the guy that's currently down there. You can see like a name across the top.
Can I roll like an intuition on him? And
Yeah,
to see
sure. What
I think about him.
Let's have an intuition and see how good you make him to be.
Roll 100. My intuition is out of 55. And I fail. Okay.
He seems like a pretty solid fighter. Hard to
Cool,
read
so
though.
I'll do like 4 pennies for 2 rounds.
Okay. As you keep placing, as you place the bets, and the chap that's next to you repeats the rules, which are basically that you can either throw money into the pit, in which case the fighter will get to keep half of it, and the house will keep the other half, or you can just place bets. And the reason for throwing it into the pit is simply to try and encourage them to fight for longer.
Yeah, so like if I make a bet for like 3 rounds and I want him to go to the next round, if I want him to make it to 3 rounds, I gotta throw him a little extra coin.
Indeed. You've got to try and sort of motivate him to stay in there for a bit longer. On the flip side, you can simply place a bet, and if you get the round number right, you double your money. If you don't, the house keeps. So that's pretty much the rules, but it's difficult to tell how many rounds, and a round would equate to a combat turn, just to set the rules straight.
I'll do like 4 brass on, because I rolled really bad on intuition. I'll do 4 brass on 4 rounds.
Okay, Joris, anything from yourself?
Can I roll a gossip a gamble to see if I can estimate how long this guy's going to last?
Yeah, sure. I feel like gamble, it's probably intuition that you need, but you could use your knowledge of fighting to have a rough estimate of how many rounds someone might like. I'll let you roll with gamble. Right, what's your target?
45.
You're not sure. Difficult to say. You've never seen or heard of a beast man or something with a head of a goat before. Unusual setting for you.
Okay, I'll just follow Rogel's.
The majority of bets are for 3 rounds, but there's quite a few for 2 rounds. Some have even put 1 round, and it's worth pointing that the individual, as he's spoken through the rules a few times, has said that the fighter can choose to basically give up and get out.
All right, so now that I've successfully come in here and acted like I wanted to be a part of this, I want to now sniff around for winds of magic. Do I smell anything weird, anything fun?
Roll me a sixth sense.
Ooh, what's that? Perception?
Yeah, it's your perception.
Okay, that's out of 50. Woo!
Plus
2? No, plus 1.
There's something a bit off about this place. It's hard to put your finger on it, but there is something a little bit off. Certainly the pit in particular.
Is it a good smell or is it a bad smell?
Oh, it's a bad smell. It's a bad smell. It's a bad, nasty smell.
This wind smells rank.
It's you've smelt similar smells before, but it's sort of the let's say
Does it smell like the ring that I have in that lead case?
Not quite. No, it's the smell of corruption. Let's say.
The smell of that giant skull he has in his backpack.
Yeah, similar sort of.
That doesn't exist. You know it doesn't exist.
Right. So at this point, the fight is being prepared. The ropes and chains that are currently being held on, that are currently binding this beast down bottom. You can see someone slowly raising a spear down and trying to sort of slowly saw through one of the ropes that's currently bound around him and the knot that's at the back. At this point, the thing is flailing on the chair and tossing it around. You can hear sort of a ghastly bestial snarl as it's doing so. It's disgusting. And you can see it sort of shaking the chair. Pretty much you can hear it creaking and starting to snap in places. It sounds pretty terrifying, in all honesty. And let me just get a... We're going to get a thug. There's our fighter. I don't actually have a pit available. Do we have... Yeah, good stuff we do. Right. And we'll go with...
Next time, just get into a WWE game and just get us a raw,
yeah.
A wrestling ring.
Step into the square circle, son.
Yeah, there
Definitely.
you go.
Vermintide doesn't have a wrestling ring, but we'll work on that maybe and write to the developers.
Who has that boss fight?
It does. Nothing that vaguely resembles a pit in the floor that I could find. But anyway, moments later, the rope suddenly twangs loose, and it takes a few seconds of shifting back and forth before a large sheet that was covering the head of this creature is tossed to one side. It stands up instantly, and you recognise this as not being a man by any stretch of the imagination at all. It's thick and muscular and humanoid in shape, aside from its arms, its head, and its legs. Thick fur sort of lines its arms, its legs, hooves currently for feet, large clawed hands, and a mixture of both tusks and horns adorn its head with almost a goat-like appearance that has some bandages currently bound around it, and you can see at the edge of the horns they seem to have been snapped off. The thing sort of lashes left and right, snarls and tries to reach for one of the spears that's currently poking it towards the other man, and simply put, the guy that is about to fight pulls the expression pretty much as you are seeing right now on the token of, oh fuck. With that, we're going to roll initiative for the two, and we're going to see how your gambling pays off. So let's roll initiative for these two.
He is not making it to 4 rounds.
The thug is going to go first, and he's firstly going to roll a leadership test, which actually, no, it doesn't technically cause fear. So he is going to charge, actually. He's going to tentatively move towards it, and then slowly build up to a charge and try and make a large sort of right hook at the thing. And we'll see what he can do. So there's his first roll.
I'm actually curious. So, like, for Rogel, what's his response to this? Is this thing like a large creature? Am I suddenly afraid of this?
Slightly larger than a man, but it's smaller than a troll.
Okay, so it's not like, oh my god, run away.
How big is it compared to the beastmen that we saw before?
It's bigger than the Ungor, which were chasing you through the woods. This is like a very large man. Okay. So this beast is larger than him, certainly, but again, smaller than a troll. So it's just like a really big, burly man. You notice as well it seems to have something engraved onto its chest. You're not exactly sure where. It's a bit of a strange symbol. You haven't had a good chance to look at it yet. It may take a little bit of time in order to figure it out and get a good sight of it. But for now, the beast...
Oh, no, that catches my interest immediately. I will focus on that.
Okay, you can make me a perception test. The beast now swings back at him, using both of its claws. Oh dear, that is not looking too good for him. It takes both of its claws and jams them down into the side of his arm. You can hear him scream out in pain as the claw seems to just penetrate through the muscle and rips out a bit of flesh. And that is... he collapses to the floor pretty quick. The beast instantly moves in to try and bite him. Doing so... Doing so, he just manages to move his neck to one side, and then you see the teeth slam shut just inches away from his head as he's trying to sort of wrestle the face of this beast away from him. He is looking pretty rough, though, at this point, and instantly begins screaming, "Get this thing off of me! Get it off!" At this point, a few spears come jabbing down in the direction of the beast, start piercing its flesh, poking it back, and the man scarpers toward the edge of the ring and instantly starts reaching for the rope to try and get out. Rather quick. That was 1 round. He's hauled out pretty quick, and in the centre now is this beast, just simply snarling, looking all around, trying to clearly survey its way out. As it does, it moves around Rogel. You eventually get wind of the symbol on its chest. It's similar to a warrior priest you killed back in Morlanfurt. A tattoo which he had on his body.
Ooh, and I know that one was chaos based.
You knew that was a bad symbol, indeed.
It was bad.
You knew it was a bad symbol. Right, the thug is pulled out of the pit, and instantly one of his presumably friends and colleagues starts reaching for bandages, wrapping them around his arm. You can see the man trembling at this point in fear. "I survived a round." At this point, a couple of individuals armed with spears make their way down into the pit, all trying to sort of poke and keep this beast at length. And no, not too bad. A few coins are quickly gathered whilst keeping this thing at arm's length. It's still trying to sort of push the spears out the way and even moves forward to the point it clearly takes a little bit of damage trying to make its way through, but they quickly make their way out with a few coins, give it to the gentleman, and at this point he's already gone for the ale. He's currently sort of laying underneath one of the barrels, just letting it drip into his mouth. You can see he's just having as much as he can. Right. At this point, the ringleader is looking around the room. We're going to need another contender. Who else would like to fight?
This guy will. Points at Oleg.
Oleg tentatively raises his hand up. I guess I will give it a try.
Ha! We've got another victim! Right, lower him down! A few individuals
Does he
start...
need to move his armor at all? Or...
You're allowed to keep your leathers on, but if you're wearing any chainmail, a few individuals quickly approach you. One takes your shield, the other takes your sword. Explains to you, no weapons allowed, lad. Fist fights only, or teeth. Smiles at you with most of his teeth missing. Good luck down there, son. He pats you on the cheek, pats you on the shoulders, gives you a quick shoulder rub. At this point, the crowd seem to be very frenzied. No one is really making any bets. No one seems to really be concentrating on that, let's say. The majority of them just looking at the pit. A few of them at the time have started chanting the word blood or fight. Some combination of the two. The crowd seems somewhat divided. Oleg, you were lowered down.
All right, now that Oleg's away from us, I'm going to turn around to the other two and whisper, all right, guys, let's bet on like 1 or 2 rounds.
I'll go for 2.
I'm going to... What do you think?
Yeah, 2 maybe. How
2?
much?
Yeah.
We could ask the guy for how much points it is for if he knocks.
No, I don't think he's going to be able to fight this guy. I'm going to go with 2. Yeah, I think 2 rounds is good.
Okay. 2 rounds. How much are you betting?
Another 4 brass.
4 brass.
And
Nice.
I'm going to bet the silver on 2 rounds.
Yeah, I'll bet a silver as well on 2.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Money's
you guys
gone.
are going for a full Monty?
Absolutely.
Fine, I'll up my bet then.
The choice has a bit of a gamble.
I'll do it. I'll do a silver as well. Let's do it. We'll all pitch in.
Okay.
Silver on 2 rounds.
Righto. Oleg, currently you have about 5 people with spears behind you, all just keeping this thing roughly at about 6 foot distance. These are long spears. It's still trying to sort of break them to the side, and it's currently in a pose that just looks like the moment they take it away, it's going to just run at you. You can see its mouth is salivating, some sort of strange combination of sort of froth coming from its mouth as well as saliva just dripping down to the floor. It's eyeing you up and sort of metaphorically licking its lips. You can vaguely see a tongue.
Hello to you. And he gives the beastman a tiny little wave. And...
Could I cast Murmured Whisper on him?
On Oleg.
Yes.
You can, if you want to cast magic, you still have to sing to cast. So.
Oh no!
You can try
it's
and
very
do it.
loud. Who's gonna notice some small boy singing? In
You
this
can
crowd?
try. You can try.
Never mind. It's gonna
No,
be
you
weird.
do it if you like.
No, it's good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sure you don't want to
it's
cast the
good.
spell? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, cool. Right, with that, the gentleman moves his box to the edge of the ring to look down into it, and... All right, let's see how long you're going to last now, laddie. We have Oleg, the waterman, and...
Did I ever give him my name? He's just talking to himself.
Yeah, your compadres would have if they're placing
I told
bets.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the other corner... By the way, you got a bit of a cheer. A bit. At this point, the moment he
Mostly from
starts
us.
introducing... In the other corner, we have the beast. At this point, the crowd goes nuts. They seem to be quite fond of this creature. Or at least the sports that it's producing. Oleg, you're actually going first. Spears instantly lifted up. The beast at this point is currently looking around, eyeing one of them, snarling at it as it's drawn away. You seem to have the upper hand. What are you going to do?
Am I close enough to charge it?
Yes.
All right, then Oleg would like to charge it.
I'll give you your one advantage.
Get it!
You charge in. What are you going to do?
Okay.
Bearing in mind you've only got your 2 fists, so that little fist symbol there is what you'll be clicking in melee weapons.
Okay, excellent. Oleg is going to attempt to tackle it, if possible. Kind of do like the whole the grappling.
Okay, you're going to run in and grapple.
Yeah,
Okay.
if that's possible.
You can charge and grapple. I don't see why not. So, yeah,
Okay.
you're going to just try and rugby tackle and restrain it.
Yes.
Or wrestle it.
You.
Yeah, go for it.
Strength roll. Or a
It's still the fist.
hand-to-hand?
It's still the fist roll for you. So you might as well just stick with that. No, it is actually an imposed strength test. My apologies. Yeah. So roll strength.
I think I click.
None of the
Yeah,
hyperlinks in this sheet work, so you're going to roll a 1d1.
I think characteristics are working.
Oh wait, that did.
Whoa.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are able to restrain it and apply and basically it gets a few entangled conditions at this point. Because of that, you will actually deal a fairly decent amount of damage to it. +5 against -5 is pretty amazing, actually. So it's strength bonus plus 10 damage, I believe.
Okay, strength bonus is 4.
Yeah. Right. That is 14. Jesus. 14 minus that. Okay. There
Hey
you
guys,
go.
we're going to lose our bet.
You managed to jump on it, taking it to the floor, catching it completely off guard. How are you restraining it right now? You've got horns
Boston
to grab.
crab.
You've got Boston crab. Okay.
Yep, except by the horns, instead of the arms.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So amazingly, you were able to wrestle it down. You gain yourself one advantage there for winning the test as well. So you've got 2 advantage right now. It is having a very bad time, just flailing around and trying to get you off of its back, but it seems to have difficulty reaching for you. It's going to have a go now and see if it can do anything here, because this isn't looking too good. Right. It's your go.
Okay.
Crowd, by the way, absolutely nuts.
So I make an opposing strength test to that now?
Yes. Yeah, it's basically trying to break out. Right, okay. You keep it grappled. It is restrained. It fails to break out from you, so it flails around and tries to sort of kick and even sort of try and do a sort of a flip backwards to try and shake you off. No luck. You are clinging to this thing like an urchin. Right.
Oleg, I want to see one of them cry!
And is this you trying to sort of rip the horns off, presumably, by now?
Yes, absolutely. That sounds amazing.
Okay. 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 And let's have another roll then.
All right. Let's see. Strength or combat?
If you're still grappling
strength.
it, then you can release the grapple and attack it, but
Nope. All right, and that's going to be 2 advantage still, correct?
yeah, they should be in automatically.
Oh, okay. Oof.
Okay. It does win the test. Are you sticking with the roll?
No, I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay.
So that's going to be 1 fate, I believe, right? Or fortune.
Doesn't
What?
he get an advantage for when it failed on the opposed test to get out of it? He should have +3 then.
It didn't automatically get added, so I'm just going to go with...
Yeah, I've given you 1 for the charge and 1 for winning the test, and then you did win the second test, yes, so you would have had 3 because
Oh,
you've
sorry.
won another test. So that's
So he would have
been a 59, which would have been a +1.
Oh no, it would have been an equal. So he would have to re-roll
Who's
anyway.
got the higher base strength? He's got 40.
I've got 46.
You technically win. You do deal a minuscule amount of damage to it, just about making a little bit of a way through its toughness, but yeah, you do win, giving yourself... you're up to 40 advantage now. You've basically just got this thing pinned. It's flailing, screeching, screaming as much as it can, and it's not having a lot of luck in shaking you off.
Is anybody throwing money in the pit?
Yes. Each round, each turn, there has been basically a continual stream of coins, mainly being thrown at you now. So you can feel these little sort of dinks just coming off of your back and your side. It's sort of the occasional one hits you in the cheek. It's a bit uncomfortable. But yes, there is... You would get the impression that there's probably about 1d10 brass pennies per round that you survive being thrown in. Give or take. So you never know, you may come out of this with some money. Right, what's it going to do in response? Because right now things aren't looking too good.
No, Chorus is going to approach the betting master, and yes, sir, 5 silver that he kills the.
The gentleman smiles at you.
Come on.
He looks very, very happy and grins for a second. I'll have it, boy. Go on, then. 5 silver that he kills the beast. At which point, he instructs those carrying spears. Ladies, break 'em up! Break 'em up! Oleg, you feel 2 hands on your back as you are ripped apart from the monster in question.
Excuse me.
There's about 5 people on you right now, and about 5 people on it, each pulling the 2 of you apart. So now we basically have a crowd of people down in the pit with you. A few of them armed with hand weapons, daggers, etc. They're poking this thing in the back. Basically, it seems to vaguely be enjoying it to a degree. It seems to be working itself up into somewhat of a frenzy, one could say. At which point, right, let's get these guys fighting again. Go! And the 2 of you are released, effectively restarting combat. Thank Yoris for this. Right, just have to restart combat. You're going first again, most definitely. You are released, Oleg. Just a second or so before another individual tries to release the beast, it turns around, tries to swipe at him. You have the advantage. What are you up to?
Oleg is going to do a charging tackle again.
Okay. Okay. I'll
While
do
screaming
it.
his river boogaloo.
Let's have a strength test. And
Nope. Actually, reroll.
re-roll that. Let's
Absolutely.
see what he's getting. You don't have to use a re-roll because you both would roll before doing that. So
Okay.
you would be able to roll in. You would be able to restrain him. That would indeed do. He's not on 24 hit points though. There we go. He still seems to be somewhat wounded. As you arrive close to him, the blood that is pouring out of the wounds where he's been stabbing him drips onto you, and Oleg, and you can hear a hissing, uncomfortable feeling on your skin as you realise it's sort of burning its way through your armour into your flesh. Something fairly foul is afoot here. You're going to take 1 wound.
Okay.
A relatively small amount in the grand scheme of things, though. Right. In response, it is going to... You are still... I tell you what, if you can make a... No, you are still grappling it. I won't be removing that. Right. Another strength test to see if it can...
Oh, did that remove my advantage? The acid?
Yes, it did. Afraid so.
Okay.
So that's for him to basically get out. So from this, he gets his managed to get a hoof between the two of you, kicks you backwards a couple of feet, and then sort of squats down in a position, snarling at you, claws appearing to sort of extend from his fingers another inch or two. Now it's you to go. What are you going to do?
I have a question.
Far away.
This pit, is there a railing around it, or just?
No, it's an open pit.
Okay.
There's about 10 people down inside it now. 5 behind Oleg, 5 behind the beast, each sort of pointing weapons in the direction. You don't get the impression they're being pointed at Oleg, they're more just sort of getting ready to do whatever's needed to make it more entertaining.
Okay, so Oleg is going to... I guess we back in and take a swing at it this time.
Gonna give it a punch.
Seems that way.
Let's have a roll.
Re-rolling.
Okay.
No matter what you roll, I'm gonna have to re-roll that.
Yep.
Shit. Okay. You know what? Yeah. So, first...
It's not a fumble,
You gotta
though.
mitigate that.
Wait, this is only you attacking, so you're not going to take any damage in return.
Right.
But unfortunately, not enough to connect a blow with him.
Right.
As you lurch towards and take a swing towards it, it manages to weave slightly out of the way. As it does, it's going to swing back at you, taking both of its claws, trying to reach toward you, and lurches out towards your body, taking a swipe across the centre of it. Let's have a defensive roll.
Okay.
And right,
Hits.
that is a successful hit. Not a lot of damage getting through you. Damage 7. There we go. Yeah, not a lot getting through. But a scrape nevertheless. Right, it's you to go. It's basically just taken a lash across your body. Most of your armour manages to take away the majority of the damage. You're okay. You're alive.
It's taller than Oleg. He's only 5'8", correct?
Yes, it's more like 6'3", 6'4".
All right. Then, in the tradition of all rivermen everywhere, he's going to immediately crouch and then uppercut while jumping in a frog punch.
Okay. That old
Which
classic.
is going to be a brawling attack.
Yep. Let's do it.
Ah.
No cigar. No cigar, I'm afraid. As you do so, it connects with its chin as it looks down towards you, and it almost sort of headbutts your fist out the way. Its skull seemingly far thicker than you had anticipated. In response, its teeth open up.
These rolls!
And it looks down towards you, snarling. You get the impression that an imminent ouchie is about to occur.
Yeah, I think I'm going to burn another reroll.
I'm sorry, man.
There you go.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good. Like, you're surviving. Capture.
I might have double-clicked that by accident. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. You didn't win, but it basically did 5 damage, which turns out to be just the 1 against you. So you're all right. amazingly. You have an opportunity now to give it a swing, bearing in mind you can get out whenever you wish, but you're still in pretty decent shape. This thing hasn't connected a decent blow with you yet.
All right. He's going to take another swing with his other hand.
I do apologise. I have to backtrack on what I just said then. It's going to take a second swing because it's been frenzied the whole damn time.
Oh, absolutely.
This one, not so good. You get to make another opposed roll. My apologies, but better to include that roll now rather than too late. All of a sudden, it takes another snap at you, and you manage this time to move out of the way.
I'm just sorry to say this for myself, but have you been giving it advantage?
It did have advantage, yes. It's just lost it all. Now you have the upper hand, and...
All right.
Yeah, that's why it's been at 80 this whole time.
Yeah, it's been rolling on an 80, which is why it's been kind of nearly hurting you, but not enough.
Okay. So then he's going to attempt to grapple it again. Just by jumping up into it and wrapping all 4 of his limbs around it.
Okay.
The octopus!
I'm going to chant Oleg, Oleg, and trying to see if I can get the crowd to also chant.
Make a roll for me for that. Yeah, that's a pretty decent roll. You are whittling it down. Yeah, yeah. Another couple of points of damage for it. As you're grappling it, again, you feel that even more of the blood now that's trickling out, especially from the front of this mark on its chest, is just searing its way through your flesh. Pretty painful. It's still only 1 wound per turn, so there you go. But nevertheless, you do manage to hurt it a bit more. However, at which point, the weapons you feel lurch down towards you, and again the 2 of you are separated. Get off of him! This is a fight, not a bloody hugging competition.
Oleg staggers around a bit.
At this point, Eurus, I'm afraid you're unsuccessful. The 10 people down there are all chanting the word blood, repeatedly. Rogel, what are you up to right now?
I'm just watching this, honestly. I've already lost all my bets, so I'm just a little miffed.
Okay. Oleg's going to be doing pretty well for money by the end of this. I don't know how many rounds we're on now, but we can go back and check, but it's some disgusting number. Right, not aided by the fact I forgot Frenzy. Right, again, Oleg, the 2 of you separated.
All right.
We're going in again.
All right.
The 2 of you released. You get to go first again. One day it will charge with its horn attack, but not today. Oleg, what are you up to?
You said it was frenzied, right?
It is.
Immune to psychology, I'm assuming?
Oh, totally.
All right, he's just going to punch it then. And fail.
You were doing better with grappling, man.
You would get a... If you were charging in, this would have been out of charge range. They just pull the 2 of you apart and let you have a go at each other again. Right, it is going to attempt to defend itself. You do manage to connect. Connect blows. You're whittling this thing down slowly, like blow by blow. It's getting there. 1 damage gets through. The 2 of you fist fighting against each other, you get the impression that it would take 100 punches to take this thing down. It, however, should it connect a bite with you, would probably be somewhat more successful. We're going to go with...
I still get resilience to burn.
You've got all sorts right now. So we're going to go with...
Check out this BA here in the ring.
Right. At which point, having been basically clocked round the head, it locks eyes with you for a second and attempts to meet the 2 heads, basically trying to headbutt you. Let's see how we do. 1 defensive roll, please. A hit is received. And I assume you're getting a little low on the... number side.
Disgusting.
This time, it hurts. Its head meets with yours, forehead on forehead. However, the mass of this thing combined with a skull that's probably as thick as your arm sends you into seeing stars for a few moments as you step back and stutter. Following that, with its frenzy, it is now going to take a second go, and this time trying to aim for your chest, trying to impale you with its horns. However, a decent blow from yourself. You managed to duck out of the way quickly. You are okay. You have the opportunity to attack it again.
Oleg is going to shout, "I give up," and attempt to back away towards the spear guys behind him.
Okay. Make a charm test quickly.
Okay.
As you look around at the people, they are all chanting the word blood rather repeatedly and have a very unusual expression on their face, most of them looking incredibly angry. This is unusual.
I beat a 40.
Okay, you've got a +1. Let's just see if they can... We're just going to have to roll their willpower. They let you out. Surprisingly, one or two of them see the wounds on you and quickly move in. A few of the others take a few seconds too long to raise their weapons up, very sort of hesitantly letting you out. But
wonder what's going on with these people.
They do let you out.
Yeah, so I guess Oleg's gonna stagger towards the group, or not sure where he goes.
Well done, chap. You made me lose every bet I made. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. He's staggering a bit, kind of holding his head.
Oh, roll 15 D100.
Well, you know, this place is starting to scare the shite out of me. I want to get out of here.
I'm kind of feeling like this place is a little familiar.
Is Nose for Trouble going off or anything like that?
Oh, that was D10. You get 93 brass pennies as you go to leave, Oleg. Basically a whole cloth sack full of them. There's a couple of penny silver pieces mixed in, but the total, you get the impression from the weight and quickly surveying it, it is roughly that amount. 93.
Awesome.
Which is, unfortunately, only about sort of 4 or 5 silver, but it's still enough to tide you over for a little bit. Are you guys quickly making your way out?
Yeah.
Oleg's staggering towards the exit, absolutely.
Okay. And
I was wondering, like, Nose for Trouble, like Sixth Sense, anything like that going off?
You'll have to make a test for Nose for Trouble, but you can certainly just try and survey the room quickly before you go to leave. Okay.
Oh, well, I failed that spectacularly.
It just seems like these guys really love to fight. Oleg, as you do climb out, Yoris observing the fight down below, a couple of the individuals down there begin punching each other. A fight seems to erupt between them. The chanting for blood seems to be turning them to fight against each other, as well as, curiously, the beast. It now just seems to be a little bit of a free-for-all down there. Think of a bar fight, only with a beastman mixed in.
That's disgusting.
Is the crowd fighting?
Only down in the pit thus far. Everyone down there seems to be... There are a few weapons drawn as well, spears, swords, and no bets are being placed right now. Like, the bet board is completely empty. It was wiped a while ago, and no one's been placing bets. But for those that are still up top, probably about 20 individuals shouting, chanting the word blood as they look down. Rogel, bad magic is here.
Oh, no. Yeah, now I really want to get out. My nose didn't tell me anything, but...
Okay.
I don't suppose there's any coins by the betting board, is there?
Do you want to try and sneak some?
If there's anything left there, because if they're all paying attention to the pit.
You can make me a stealth test to see if you can basically steal them. Steal some of the bets.
Okay, my stealth urban.
That helps. But technically, I guess this is more of a sleight of hand. Do you have sleight of hand? Oh.
No, and it looks like I'm not going to make it anyway.
You're going to need to roll, though, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I spell it right, that will help. Oh.
Okay.
So what would it be against?
What's your target for intuition? This will be very important as to whether or not you...
32.
32. So you get a +2. They will get a +3. If, as a GM to a player tip, if you spend a fortune point for a +1, you won't be spotted.
Okay then. Yeah. I'll burn the fortune.
That was just a GM to a player helping hand there, because you might not know all the fortune situations and rules. You're able to...
I don't know what fortune does at all. I've never spent it once.
Well, yeah, it's mostly only used for rerolls, but it can also be used to skip a combat order as well. But you're able to snag a bag and seemingly make your way out. It's a bag of coin. You're not exactly sure whose or what's in it, but you don't take any time to look. You quickly make your way out the exit. Everyone's seemingly distracted. You knock on the door. The ogre does eventually, after knocking several times, open it back up. Just sort of looks at you cock-headed for a moment. Fight.
Fight's done. Well, ongoing.
Fight. It lets you out. Puts out a cup.
Bye, fight. It was nice meeting you.
Sort of
Oleg
waves.
gives a little wave.
And
Nice hat. Very nice.
You can get on your way.
Shall we get back to the temple?
Well,
where
that
we're
was
staying?
completely grisly and disappointing.
Yes, I'm sorry, Oleg. I bet for you to you seem to have it in control, and then well, they went.
You what?
Oh, never mind.
This thing, it melted my leathers.
Pokes at the burn marks on his leathers from the acid blood.
Wait, what did that? How did it melt that? Like its mouth?
The blood.
Wait, its blood did that?
And the squiggles on the chest.
The squiggles, you mean like his tattoo?
Yeah.
Or what was it, like a branding?
It was a
What was
branding,
it?
yeah.
Oh,
From what you
that's
could tell,
terrible.
it looked like a burn mark.
But that burnt
makes
more?
Yeah, it makes me think of that big thing with the kids in the village.
Oh
And,
yeah, that was like a fever dream. I don't know what's going. I don't know whether or not that was real or not, dude.
Yeah, but it had the blood that made you melt.
It's
So,
true.
We should probably get going, huh? That's a bad place.
But that branding made me think of that priest back in Molenfort.
We really need to get going then, eh? That's the stuff.
Well, I
that
thought we were
the
walking back to
hunters
the
will
inn,
burn us
right?
over. Yeah. Hey, you two. Now that you've seen this, you might get burned too. So yeah, just some advice.
Okay.
Oleg kind of staggers in a random direction because he's a little concussed.
Well, we're taking you to the inn.
Yes.
Are you staying at the temple or the inn?
Temple.
I thought we.
yeah.
Yeah, I think your arrangement was you had a slightly cheaper night stay at the temple.
Yeah.
Oh
Has
right,
arranged.
that's right. Yeah,
It was 2 silver a night if we stayed with Ludwig.
Yeah,
that's right.
right. As you make your way back, let's have a stealth test to see if you can avoid any trouble. You are in the rough part of town right now, making your way home. Very dark. The moon has started to disappear over the top of a few of the houses, so eyesight is... vision is limited.
Oh, fantastic.
Carl, decent. Rogel, decent. That should be enough.
That'll be a plus. That'll be a +6 from me.
Yeah, we'll go with the group average. Okay, you guys are... Wow. Oh, my word.
4
Okay.
out of 30.
We're ghosts.
Not only do you make your way back unseen, you... just because the rolls are so good, you actually see a few thugs in an alley observing a few what looks like guards, looking like they might mug them or attack them as you pass by, but you can pass by unseen if you wish.
Meaning like we could ambush them?
I mean, you could. Yeah, there's about 3 or 4 individuals that seem to be eyeing up a 2 lonely guards walking down a street. You can see weapons in their hand.
We're not really in shape to do that.
We're not?
Well, Joris is still fairly injured. Oleg is now concussed and half dead.
Oh, fine. We'll leave him.
Okay. Just
Figured we could get ourselves some clout in this town.
disappear and leave them to it, yeah?
I think so.
Okay. You pass by other guard
Wimps.
patrols on your way, but with your rolls being so good, you can disappear. But yeah, you pass by other guard patrols roughly every sort of few minutes, but you're able to dip and dive in between the alleyways to avoid them, making your way back to the Temple of Verena.
Is that more guard patrols than usual, by any chance?
It would be somewhat consistent with other cities you've seen, perhaps a few more, but it's a large city, so there's more and more guards as you get closer to the nicer areas. So now you're back in, say, the more touristy middle silver class area. There's more guards. Originally, not so many. Over in the slums,
Okay.
but not necessarily an unusual amount. Sometimes groups of 6, sometimes groups of 4. You are at the temple. You're at the temple door. You are welcomed inside by a rather weary-looking old man. Welcome back. We have been expecting you. A bit late, though.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes.
Got accosted on the way in.
I see. Everyone well?
I feel a little woozy, but I brought the donation. Oleg hands the bag of pennies out to him.
Oh. He holds it and sort of jiggles it up and down. The whole thing?
Yeah, I need some sleep.
He hit his head. He's not saying anything clearly. That's to pay for our room, for our stay.
I see. Oh, you're paying in pennies. His sort of face slumps. I'll start counting. Goes and sits down by a desk.
Do you want help? I mean, I can help you.
No, that will be fine. I'll call you if there's some missing. You are shown to a
All
room
right, well-
and taken by a porter to a room with a bunch of bunk beds. It's cozy enough. There's no mattress on them. They're just sort of slats of wood up against the wall, but at least it's not on the floor.
Oleg's going to drop face first on the nearest bed and pass out.
Okay, Ludwig is currently inside the room as well, although he's currently sleeping. You can choose to wake him if you wish, or you can just be quiet.
Rogel is going to go ahead and do his nightly prayer to Ringle, expressing some earnest, affection towards this latest secret of the fighting pit and the cries for blood and the maddening, the madness that ensued afterward and the glaring magic that was felt around it. So that's my secret for today.
Okay.
I hope he likes it.
You get the impression that he's sort of smiling somewhat wherever he may be, but
He's a happy guy.
Things seem...
As long as he knows things.
He knows more things now. All is well. Ludwig does stir as the group of you go to sleep, but doesn't say anything as he just sort of turns over and cradles a book close to his chest as he...
Is he sucking his thumb?
Totally. No, he's in a restful slumber and just seems to be mildly perturbed by the group of you disturbing his rest. You are free to have a night's
sorry
rest.
to disturb.
So, each of you were resting. Did anyone... Nope, ignore me. You can each do an endurance test. I believe it's plus 20 for the night's sleep to see if you can recover some wounds. So that will be against your toughness plus 20, and we'll see if you can recover a little bit.
Versus toughness or an endurance test?
If you can roll endurance, go for it, but I don't think it'll let you, so... yeah, sorry, it'll be your endurance plus 20. Or if you don't have endurance, it'll be toughness plus 20, but...
So, 3 out of 71, that's 6 degrees?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll be 6 wounds.
A decent heal for you, Oleg. I just bumped you up. Carl,
Not a fat lot. I've got 43 endurance.
yeah, not a good lot. You do heal. It's your toughness bonus plus that. So, Oleg, you would actually have healed up to another 4 points, rather. And Joris, what are you on? What's your endurance?
I only yield 2. My endurance is 27.
Okay, so it'll be your toughness bonus minus 2, yep. And then we've got Carl, who has rolled... I missed these skill rolls. Things will be repaired next time. 83, It doesn't seem like you get a particularly decent night's sleep, Carl. Haunted by various images and flashing... burning beasts in front of you. You're simply haunted by what you saw there. Somewhat disturbed. Now, we're going to have a couple of separate rolls now. We're going to do one endurance test for anyone that took damage while down in the sewers. So that would be Joris, Carl, and Oleg. I won't roll on behalf of our missing player.
I
No
think
plus
I'm going
20 to
to
that one?
re-roll that.
No plus 20 to this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't forget the roll for Theo.
Yeah. Do you want to roll a D100 for Theo, Carl?
I can try.
Okay. And I'm going to bring up a notepad and start recording this. Okay, Theo, TJ, Carl, is that a fail? I assume so.
Against endurance.
Yeah, fine. Right.
I've got 43 endurance.
And we're going to roll one more with a plus 20. And this is just for your experiences down in this rather bloodthirsty cellar. Oleg,
What are we rolling against?
you're rolling a flat roll. Everyone else is endurance plus 20. Is it endurance or cool for corruption? Joris?
Depends on the corruption.
Yeah, depends if it's mental
It
or
would probably
physical.
be-
It would be
Would
cool.
have been mental for
It would be
Yeah.
cool then.
It would be cool. So, cool test plus
Maybe
20 for the rest of you.
Maybe physical for Oleg as well, because he was fighting it.
Yeah, good point. So we'll do it based on your toughness. Right.
Oh, that was Theo, not me.
Right.
Well.
Anyone that fails, please increase your corruption by 1.
I actually passed. Woo.
Wow. On fire.
It's that high willpower. Oleg's fine.
Past that.
It
I
is.
would pass either, so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'm passed.
You
Nice.
said plus 20, didn't
It's
you?
plus
on the call?
20. Yeah, it's plus
So I
20.
would
So
be 59, so I got
you
58.
are... Phew, that will do. That will do.
Squeaked by.
Squeaked through it.
You feel
Yeah.
mildly disturbed generally as a group that such bloodthirst exists in the city and such a sport occurs, but it's not that surprising for those of you raised in the slums of Bogarthen. Such things are just simply part of the world. Oleg, you reminisce on the fight, but think little more than it was a glorious fight against a hideous beast, and you get yourself a decent night's rest. Right, the morning arrives. Your compadre is the first to wake and leaves the room before the rest of you do, presumably disappearing off to study somewhere. The morning is yours. The day is young. What would you like to do?
We leave tomorrow, don't we?
Yes, you leave tomorrow. So you have a whole day today, and it will be close to early morning sunrise tomorrow that you will be making your way toward the edge of town to the main gate.
Well, if we want to get supplies, can I count out how many coins were in that bag that I managed to swipe?
Certainly can. You can roll me 1d10. And 1d... and another, let's say... I'm going to roll something first. And another d10 for me, please. You got very lucky. You have 9 silver and 1 brass penny. You managed to steal like the high bets bag, basically.
Could I have back my silver then?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and how much did I get? 9. I put down 1, so I can give Joris back his as well.
Thank you.
Actually, that keeps a couple spare as well, doesn't it? Because you put down, 6 in the end, Joris? You put down 1. Rogel put down 1.
Yep.
So we're actually up to...
Okay.
Sweet, that's
Yeah,
yours.
we're up to
Good job.
silver.
Numerate help with counting coins?
Yeah. Well, he can do quick calculations. It doesn't necessarily mean he remembers who bets what if he wasn't like paying attention, but for the sake of argument, let's say he was. Joris, you can also restore your resolve point because you've been gambling.
Cool.
Right.
How much have we got between us now, guys? Money. Because we need to buy supplies.
Why would I tell you that?
Just roughly.
Oleg, are we going to tell him?
I still have a few silver left, but I seem to be missing all my brass pennies.
Well, you donated to
give
the
them
church
away.
Last night.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And then they said that they would use it to pay for our rooms for the night.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
Let's get supplies and let's not try and draw any attention to ourselves.
Yeah, let's lay low. We're kind of like really in a bad spot right now.
Well, should we go out and try and get some supplies from the market and bring them back here?
Sure,
careful.
yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we got plenty of money between us now. We've actually gone positive, so yeah.
As the group of you move to leave, the same clerk that was at the table when you arrived. Fred, excuse me. A little short on money, I'm afraid.
What do you mean we're short?
I made it to be 93 brass pennies, equating to just short of 5 silver, meaning 5 silver still to be paid for the night.
There is not 93 brass pennies in there.
Holds it out, allows you to count for yourself. I've arranged them into alphabetical order by year of stamp.
Hey, didn't Ludwig mention he would help pay for us?
Yeah, he was free.
You should probably go talk to him in the back room. He said he might be able to help.
Exactly.
He is currently in study at the moment. I can fetch him if you wish.
Hey, no, you don't have to fetch him. It's all right.
Just let him know how much he owes.
Yeah, we'll be back to pick him up anyways, so you'll see us.
Exactly.
Make a charm test to see if you can convince him that Ludwig was paying.
No, but how much was it? Because it's 4 of us, and then
It's 1
Ludwig is
silver
free.
each.
Yeah, so that should be 80 penny.
Yeah, well,
So
the whole price is
actually
2
that's not too
silver
much.
each. You've paid in effect 1 silver each. So it's 20 pennies to a silver.
Yes, and there is 4 of us, and Ludwig is free because he's a priest.
So basically the total cost would have been, for you 4, would have been 8 silver. And unfortunately, you've only paid them the equivalent of just short of 5. So to call it 3.5 silver is needed. Well,
Yeah, and,
3.25.
Ludwig has it.
And was that who's rolled a conversational roll? No one yet. Roll me a conversational roll to see if you can convince us of this. This is of his scrutiny.
Any bonus because he's been up all night?
Both of you fumble,
Oh,
but he's fairly good at intuition, so he would fumble by less. So you could stick with it. He doesn't believe you at the moment. Ludwig
fail
is
as well.
good with money. I'm not. He did.
It's fine. I just want to get out there. Oleg reaches into his pocket and pulls out a few silver coins and
Okay,
places
call
them
it
down on the
3 silver and 7 brass pennies.
Sure. Yeah, you'll need to break a silver for me. He stares at the guy.
Certainly, I have change. And gives you one of the small piles of. This is the year of Sigma. There you go. You get a bunch of matching pennies, 7 of them.
Oh, good. I think Gran needs this for her collection.
All is paid for, and you are free to leave. Slightly poorer.
I don't know why you paid, man.
It's because you were cheap. Let's go.
Well, why couldn't you be cheap too?
It's because you always are.
You need to be my apprentice in cheapness. Come on.
Rogel, in all things, like a boat, there is balance.
That's buoyancy.
You would do very poorly in Marienburg.
Balance, see?
It's buoyant, not balance.
Boy, there's no. I mean, maybe there's boys, but they're usually the cabin boy.
You're absolutely insufferable. Just go play Rock Pants, bro.
So we are going to the market, huh?
Oleg looks at everybody expectantly.
Yes, let's go.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, what are we getting?
You're able to make your way to a nearby market. Food stalls, clothing, armour, a few bits of sort of shoddy wares are being sold on the streets. What would you like?
I wonder if... All right, so how would I go about looking for a fence?
You want to look for a fence. You can do a little gossip to ask around.
But my gossip's terrible.
You could ask someone else to ask around on your behalf.
But, oh, okay. No, I'll roll it.
I can pitch in a bit.
I mean, if you can't find one, you can just pay someone that doesn't want to tell you, and that will normally work. Right. Where's a damn market noise? There we go.
Ooh, that's nice. Definitely
There we
sounds
go.
like a busy market that's empty.
Right, let's have your gossip test.
Gossip. All
Gossip.
right. Click. Oh no, that's only a -1.
1 brass penny and someone will tell you.
Okay.
Okay. You are pointed in the direction of a fence.
Yay! So yeah, I'm gonna try and fence off this BH stuff.
Fair enough. It's in the dodgy part of town, so you'll have to go a little bit out of your way to do so. But you're given some rough directions to someone that could probably shift your gear.
Okay, I'll work my way there
Okay.
and allow these guys to do something.
Are you asking for like a?
Like a fence, someone who will purchase illicit goods.
Yeah, and you're just asking people in a market this. Just to be like perfectly clear.
Well, I'm not asking people in a market.
Okay.
Yeah, well, all right. So then the goal would be to look for.
To look for.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the right words in my brain to express what I'm thinking. So I'm looking for someone who will trade in goods that other people would probably
Pawn.
not want to buy. Who would
pawn
purchase
Okay.
things. Yeah, like a pawn shop or something like that. Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify if you were walking around asking for someone to buy
No,
stolen
I'm not just
goods.
asking random people, but I'm saying,
Fine.
I'm
Yeah,
not going
yeah.
to be dumb and just say, hey, who's going to buy my stolen stuff?
Well, I thought you were. I just wanted to
Oh,
check.
hold on, let me sing some magic and make a giant loudspeaker in the sky and just ask everyone, hey, where can I sell stolen stuff?
Okay. The good news is that some guards did overhear you asking around for a pawn shop.
Oh, no!
The even better news is that you were simply asking for a pawn shop and not for an illegal fencer. So
Oh, well, that's good.
you're given directions of a few in the back end of town that would buy stuff that most people don't want to buy. Right,
Yay.
market is yours. You're close by. So what would you like to do?
Do they sell hardtack somewhere? Because we're going on a trip and I'm used to eating
Heart, did you say?
hardtack, like the ship's biscuit.
Right. Yeah, you might have to sort of travel more towards the. It's a market, so yes. Yes, they do. You can purchase a few rations if you wish. It's roughly 2 brass pennies per day of food.
Okay. I will buy some. And I will, while we're there on the market, I will gossip with people, see what's going on. See if there's some opportunities to.
Okay. How many days' supplies are you purchasing while you're here?
You said it was 2 pennies.
2
for a
pennies per day. Yeah. So a silver would get you 6 days, close to a week.
Yeah. Yep.
1 silver?
Yep.
Okay. Right, so I'll put you down as approximately 1 week's rations. Anyone else buying general supplies?
Yeah,
Just to
I'll
get
do the same.
shopping out the way.
Rations.
You can just take the money out yourselves. It's 1 silver for 6 days worth of travel. You don't know how long you'll be travelling, but an estimate would be it's normally going to be about a week to get to somewhere major. There might be small stop-off hamlets in between. You are in a fairly safe bit of Reichland right now, but it kind of depends how you travel and where you travel. But generally speaking, it's going to be up to a day or two between each small location, and give or take. Right, Joris, where's a gossip test? Let's have a gossip roll. It's a market, have a +20. Okay. You find a few very chatty women who are currently exchanging stories. One of whom is telling a tale that one of the fairly well-known nobles in town, a fairly young gentleman. Rumour was that he was about to get married tomorrow, but he seemed to have fallen from a building while making love to a pig. At least that's the working assumption of the city. That he was having some form of love affair / bestiality, and presumably the two of them fell to their death. A very sad and tragic tale, but the talk of the entire town right now. There's a lot of giggling and gossip going on.
Can you pick up a name?
Yeah, certainly. It was Leopold Bernhardt. Was his name. A young individual in his sort of 20s, quite rotund, but known for being a little bit naive. Rumour has it his family, also disgraced, are looking to leave town immediately. So currently his home is for sale, and they are sort of commissioning lawyers to just leave. Their name has been ruined pretty much by this scandal. As well as that, they do also mention that there is or was a very large quantity of bodies found in a cellar, which erupted into a street fight, a very bloody one outside the building, and some 30 to 40 individuals were slain and murdered, including some sort of monster. If only that you had stayed around a bit longer and not passed that charm test. But, yes, it sounds familiar. Sounds like a narrow escape.
Yeah. Did that happen last night?
Aside from that, in terms of gossip, any other subjects you're looking to pry into?
Maybe anybody looking for some muscle or hired hands for the day just to earn a quick buck.
Okay, you have a decent role, so I'm assuming now you ask around with a few different sources, so you're not just chatting to the same couple of women for a long period of time. So you ask around the market.
I'd like to, but no.
There's a few things that have been mentioned. There's an individual from out of town who never made it into market today that a couple of the other individuals are sort of discussing. There's an empty stall. Basically, this person never showed up. They normally turn up to sell their livestock, but never arrived, and it's unusual only in that it's the first time they've not shown up. There's another rumour that at night time there is said to be, or someone has spotted a goblin around one of the warehouses. Now, most people are just laughing at this individual, thinking they're somewhat of a kooky idiot, but there are rumours, at least being spread, that at least some nutter thinks there's a goblin within the sort of stevedores warehouses. They have a few on the waterfront, but you get like a rough gist of whereabouts, but the rumours don't go into any specifics. There is also sort of some notice boards around town that, now you're asking, can offer other jobs as such. Rat catchers are in high demand here at the moment, seeing as the issues with the sewers. There's a very high portion of individuals who need help with rat catching. Not only down in the sewers, but in the streets and in the bottom of taverns, cellars, etc. And that's sort of what you get from the immediate role. You can continue to ask around for more tasks if you wish, or visit a board.
Oh, this goblin thing has got me interested. So he's going to be asking around if somebody knows where the warehouse is and if they're looking for somebody to guard it or what.
Okay, you can roll me another gossip test or a charm test if you like. Now you've ascertained a few individuals, and yeah, what's your target?
40.
40. Okay, I'll say that a few folk are sort of a bit blasé about it. You don't get too many details, but you get an impression a few of them probably could have their tongues loosened up with a little bit of coin.
Okay. Wait, was it gossip? Because my gossip is 45, but it doesn't really matter.
If your gossip's 45 and it's only a fail by 1, I'll say one of the tight-fisted individuals wants a brass penny to tell you what the secret is.
Yep. Sure.
Given it's sort of a no but. You get a few warehouses in a district that it's been spotted by. Some lady that you were given directions to. She runs a sort of a tavern toward that side of town. She swears that she's been seeing a goblin there outside her tavern toward the warehouses, and she swears by it. But thus far, no one seems to believe her. But the rumour is still spreading around town, and you also catch wind that the individuals that own the warehouse are pretty annoyed about this, at least about the gossip, at least.
Okay. It was a tavern across a warehouse, you say?
Yeah, so you get given directions and the name of a tavern, the other side of town, towards the waterfront, and you're told that it's the warehouses opposite. She's basically seen them out from her window, or she thinks she's seen a goblin out in the evening at night.
Okay. Guys, I heard a rumor about a goblin being spotted. Might be some coin in it for us, I don't know. But at least it's close to a tavern, so we can get a drink.
Well, at least we can have a drink while we investigate.
Yes.
See if it pays well.
Yeah, sure. I'm okay with these.
I mean, what's a goblin compared to a thing that you just fought yesterday?
Goblins, they're little green children, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like murdering children though. So
No, they're not children. They're just little green guys.
they're tiny like Rogel.
Well, now that you say that, yeah.
Okay. So, is that where you're headed now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So, you anything else to do in this vicinity while you're here in the market?
Yeah, Rogel still hasn't done the pawn shop yet.
Okay. Do you want to do pawn shop or tavern first? They're sort of two different directions.
I thought I was going to the pawn shop.
Oh,
while
you
we were
can
doing
go
stuff.
there and arrange to meet them somewhere if you wish.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to save on that. So you're currently you found the pawn shop. It's taken a little while. Dirty, seedy back alley. You have to ask several people for directions, most of whom are a little reluctant.
Grease the wheels.
Yeah. Right, you find a dirty, seedy back alley shop and you unload a load of stuff on the table, I assume.
No, I was gonna go in there and ask to see if see their select collection, select items, and if they proffer that, then I'll drop it on the table and be like, look, I got stuff too.
Okay. Their intuition test, you get the impression this person's very well practiced in eyeing up those that frequent their establishment. Eyes you up and down for a good minute, just sort of squinting, staring at you. After which, they pull up a couple of boxes.
Wait, can I counter that? Can I roll one as well?
Yeah,
we
you can
just
roll a
eye
nose
each
for
other
trouble.
up we
Yeah.
can just stand there and just look at each other for a few minutes.
Yeah. Have a stare off.
Put
There
your
you
nose
go.
to work.
Oh, I gotta roll it, man. I pass.
You
I
get
got a
the
+1.
you get the impression that this person's a good judge of character and is dubious of you. That's pretty much your reading. They're a little bit seedy,
Aw.
which is fair, sort of goes without saying given the setting. You're a little bit small for an halfling, aren't you? Skinny like.
You're a little too smart for a human, aren't you?
Squints at you for another minute. All right. You got coin?
I got coin. I also got this. And I'll go ahead and put it on the table.
Let's have a look. China, silverware. Oh, wouldn't you know? Where did you find this little master?
Well, I heard some screams, saw somebody fell, and I happened to nab this.
He's going to spend another minute staring at you. All right then. Sounds about right. Do you know who this belonged to?
Well, it's embossed with like BH, but I don't know who that is. I don't care. Is it good stuff?
It's from a man who's a dirty pig lover. Rumour has it in town. But more importantly,
Oh, that's gross.
the china's of no use to me. I can't sell it. The silver, I could melt it down. I could probably pass it on as reforge it into something else. I've got someone at the smithy who can help me out, but it's going to be work to do. Make it. Do you have barter?
Barter. No.
Make or haggle. Sorry.
Yeah, haggle.
Roll
Okay,
me a
yes.
haggle.
Oh god, that's terrible. I fail.
Okay. He's going to give you 3 silver for the whole lot.
3 silver. Okay.
With a roll like 24, he's basically been very persuasive, and he's kind of insisted
Well,
that...
that's me responding to him.
Yeah. His
Okay.
argument was more or less to sell a dead man's, admittedly a dead pig lover man's, most probably stolen silverware is not easy. and thus he is going to need a commission for the extra time taken to smelt it down. So
that makes sense to me. So obviously my haggling skills, that makes sense to me.
After all the china is pretty much discarded, you have like a bit of a set of cutlery, enough for 2 people to have a meal together, but sort of like 2 different size forks, 2 different spoons, 2 different knives each. So
okay.
It doesn't seem too out of the ordinary for you, and you leave 3 silver pennies richer. 3 silver coins, rather.
Well, what does he have? Like, does he have anything now? Now that we're done doing the forward transaction, I would like to see what he has available. Anything interesting? Anything, like, that he has that he wants to show off to someone who's now 3 silver richer?
He spends another minute eyeing you up. Sure. What are you after?
Well, see, like, I like stuff that makes my god happy. Things that are like, shrouded by intrigue. Just like a knick-knack or something that belonged to someone important who did something terrible, something like that. Or you get where I'm going. Like someone either famous or infamous in like a thing.
All right. He has a little rummage and
I guess what I'm in like the game speak, what I'm looking for are some of my ingredients for my magic.
Yeah.
Something like something that it was involved in such a weird circumstance that the gray winds of magic like to flock to it. Like it's now stronger in the gray winds, basically.
Yep. He has a couple of items of interest that he pulls out from a small box. One, he explains to you, is a brooch that belonged to a witch hunter, and he doesn't know the story of how it fell into the hands of someone in the back streets, but he has it. And fresh in this morning, he has some jewellery, a mixture of sort of silver rings and things of the sorts. And he also has a helmet of at least comparable to the town guard. Fresh in this morning.
So like I can verify this, right? Just by looking at the sea, like if there are winds that are on.
Yeah,
these,
you can with your detect artifact,
artifact,
you can just sort of touch them each and just see if anything is a curious.
I'll just roll once and see, and then you can decide how
exactly.
much there is.
We'll see what you can deduce.
Yeah, so it's a intuition test against a 55.
Yep, fine. The brooch strikes you as very curious. As well as that, off to the side of the room, you get a little whiff for a second, and a hand mirror sticks out as being particularly interesting to you. You're not sure what or why, but it just piques your interest.
I'll take them both. How much are they?
3 silver.
Perfect.
Takes his coins
right.
back. Have a nice day. The mirror is
Pleasure
cracked.
doing business with you.
I would emphasise the mirror as being cracked. It looks like it's been dropped. It would be very difficult to do one's makeup in it.
Okay, so it's not useful in any way, but it's...
No.
Yeah.
But it strikes you as interesting. It doesn't seem to be particularly well made, but you just get the impression that there is some story behind this. You touch it and... Your imagination leaps to perhaps it belonged to a witch, or perhaps it was a mirror of someone that succumbed to something to do with magic, or met an interesting fate. Something of that sort.
Yeah, definitely. I would have walked away with that.
Right, you make your way back. As a clarification question from chat, we're using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. And it's awesome. Right, you guys make your way, presumably meeting at the set location before making your way to this tavern. And before long, you find in some of the sort of the nicer parts of town, near the docks, you find yourselves outside a tavern. Are you going to go inside? Are you going to snoop around? What is your plan?
I'm not feeling very thirsty.
So I'll let you both decide.
Should we see if we can find out the owners of the warehouse across the road from people in the tavern?
Yep.
So we'll probably want to ask them to see if they want us to solve this problem for them. Otherwise, we're not getting paid for it.
Wait, what's the problem?
Ah, yes. There's apparently a goblin about.
A goblin? Oh no, not those guys. Oh come on, they hurt. Fine. Yeah, fine.
So you want to speak to the warehouse owners first?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, ask around in the tavern about this gossip.
Okay, you want to go inside the tavern. Right.
Yeah.
We'll step over here, do a bit of this, do a bit of that. Ooh. We have a blank map. Right, let's find another tavern then. Pop. A familiar scene, I'm sure. Right, there we go. Line it up. Hopefully that's loaded for you. Right, do you have a map?
Yes.
Wonderful.
We do.
You step inside and a small, cosy tavern is in front of you. There is a barman behind the bar. About 5 to 8 individuals currently sitting around having what you assume would be their breakfast. Let's give us some slightly more appropriate music. There we go. And some light, cheerful music is playing in the street outside. A few sausages hang up by the bar, as well as some sort of chilled cheeses behind and some dried meats. The barman welcomes you in. Hello there. Welcome. Breakfast?
Hello. How much is the breakfast?
2 pennies. Sort you right out.
I'll have a breakfast then. Yes, that sounds good. I don't know if my companions want something to eat.
A breakfast for me as well, please.
Yep. I'll have one as well, please.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm starving. Let's do this.
Reaches down above his head and pulls down a fairly large lump of cured meat. Pulls the chopper to one side and on the bar in front of you slams down, slicing a few thick wads of what you would assume would be a gammon, and hands it off on a plate, and all on one plate, and passes it toward, asking for the 4 of you 8 pennies to keep you going. It's a light meal, so you may need to eat again today, but it's certainly enough to keep you going.
Okay. Have you got something to drink with it?
It's another 2 pennies to include a small pint, not a small pint, sorry, roughly a half pint of ale. A breakfast ale, though.
Well, are those the standard prices? Come on, we can do a little bit of it. It's early.
You can try rolling a haggle if you like. A good roll. A better roll. The prices are the prices. Two pennies ahead.
Oh, 1 drink for me then. I don't know if the others want.
Yeah. I'll have one as well.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah, I'll be passing.
Okay. You can roll a consume alcohol with plus 40 for this because it's really watery. Yep, you're absolutely fine. It goes down, doesn't even touch the sides. It's pretty light and a little bit of hop there. But Carl, you get the impression you could have 10 of these before you even felt the effect. Right. The tavern is yours. You were given a table.
I want to talk to the barman just a little bit more. So there were some crazy woman here shouting about
He smiles and responds to you that is his wife, and she's finally been convinced otherwise, apparently by some visitors, that she must have been seeing things. explains, points to where she is, that she seems to be sort of round back at the moment doing some cooking. It's a bit out of earshot at the moment.
Okay. I will.
Oh man, Oleg, dude, at that fight, you were something else. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna rip his horns off. Like,
Yeah, I
oh,
was
so
trying
good.
to, but it's they kept pulling me off, and then they threatened me with the spears, and I didn't want to be poked. And then after I don't remember much towards the end of it. My head feels okay, but
Well, you got headbutt by that thing. It just was like, your memory, no, and just shook you.
He kind of lifts his little leather hat with his river pilot hat on top of it up and rubs his forehead.
and So how'd the rest of you do? Did you make bets?
I lost all mine. It was so bad. I thought you were gonna be out in the second round.
Oh. And I don't even know how many rounds I lasted for.
I think the count was 14, 15.
Wow.
Just kind of falls silent at that in contemplation.
You did amazing. You were fantastic.
Yes, I bet on you to kill him.
You barely were scratched when you tapped out. I thought they were all gonna murder you for it. For a second there, it looked like the crowd was gonna kill you when you started tapping out after you took one hit.
I don't, like I said, I don't remember much from after that.
Yeah, there was something weird with that crowd too. As soon as they started going crazy, I got blasted with this really rank magic stench, just absolutely disgusting. It reminds me of those guys back in where we met the other halfling like me, Oleg. Remember those guys that attacked?
Yeah.
Oh God, no!
The mole fort.
Why are you shouting it?
What?
It's all good. It's all good.
At this point,
yeah, it reminds me of those guys.
your drinks are brought over to you now by what you would assume is the man's wife, and she comes over, has a very subdued, sort of reclusive posture to her, quickly places the drinks down, doesn't make eye contact, and walks away.
For real quick, out of it, clarification.
Yep.
What spell do you want that brooch to be an ingredient for? Do you want me to roll it? Like a 1d whatever?
As in, how many spells will it last?
No. So each ingredient has a spell that it can work for.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Ask me as and when you want to cast a spell. We'll have a think. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Yes, lady comes, lady goes. Disappears off. The place is sort of picking up a little bit. It's getting a bit busier. 10, 15 individuals now sit around tables.
So, did we take the job, or do we need to go over there still?
We need to still find out a bit more. Maybe I can go around here and ask some people about, I don't know, things going on.
Alright. Do the actually, Oleg's gonna go to the bar and ask about the if there's a river warden station nearby he can go gossip at.
Sure. Yeah, you're given directions. You're very close to it. So the barman, seeing as you're a patron, gives you directions to the river warden station.
And wearing a river warden uniform.
Yeah, indeed. Does make a few inquiries whether you're new here or not, but yeah.
Yeah, just the other night. We won't be staying too long, but I would like to check in.
Okie doke. You are given directions. Rogel, did you have
Yes,
a
sir.
drink? I can't remember.
No, I did not.
You did not. Okay. Make a perception test for me, please, Rogel.
Yes, sir. tell you what that's against. It's gonna be like a +2, I think. Perception. Yeah, it's a +2.
Okay. In front of you on the table, you notice Carl's drink that he has guzzled rather quickly and is now in conversation with the others. You notice the cup is very slowly moving to one side, just very gradually, as if there was something like a gentle rumble in the room. However, you don't feel anything.
What?
Strikes you as
What is
peculiar.
it doing? Now I gotta investigate this.
You poke your nose
I
around
gotta,
it.
I gotta poke my nose around and I gotta sniff. Is there magic? Is this magic?
You get a bit of a whiff, and you can hear a very faint noise from within the cup as you get closer to it.
Within the cup?
You can hear something within it.
What's it? Is it saying something? What does it sound like?
Looking inside the cup, it's empty. It's sort of a moderate-sized tankard. Carl, right now you just see Rogel sort of fascinated with your tankard as he sort of lifts it up and starts looking around. It's empty though. You've finished your drink by now. You can't quite hear it very easily, Rogel. Not with it sort of at arm's length anyway.
Well, if I'm not getting bad juju from it, then I'm gonna get closer.
Okay. You hold it up to your ear, and you can just about make out what sounds like a voice. Hey, it's been a while. A familiar voice to you. It's perhaps been a year or two, but the voice of another wizard. Your master, in fact.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
It's been better. Things aren't so good at the moment. I can't really get my face out, so this is gonna have to do for now.
Okay, well, I just needed your approval to take on an apprentice.
That's not looking too good right now. I don't have very long to tell you this, son. I'm probably not going to be around for much longer, and I had you could say a scuffle with some of the witch hunters. They came after me too, after your involvement with what was the dwarven place?
Oh, I'm so sorry. What?
A master's responsible for the student. I knew you didn't do anything wrong, but they...
You can hear him coughing up something. It sounds pretty foul.
Look, it's okay though. I managed to get rid of him. It was weird though. I was. One of them had a pistol and he was...
By the way, everyone right now, you just see Rogel talking to himself, holding a cup up to his ear. One of the odder things you've seen in your days. What are you all up to right now, before we just finish that exchange?
Eating breakfast.
Probably just staring at him.
By the way, it's made worse because Rogel paces when he's like this. Whenever he gets called by his master like this, so he's pacing on the table, basically, because he had to crawl up on the table presumably to get the cup.
You do notice when you, as you're pacing, let's say the reception gets fairly bad when you go sort of out of view of one of the windows. You know how magic works, line of sight. So
yeah, exactly.
So by now you've realised he's somewhere out there. You can't quite see from where you are, but it's a large enough window with the shutters open at least that the spell seems to be working.
So there I was. He had a gun pointed at me, and he was reading all this paper and stuff and telling me listing the crimes. And out of nowhere, some little scamp came and grabbed him by the leg, and he fell over and he started screaming and burning, and there was fire and all sorts. I got the hell out of there. But anyway, this little scamp, I don't know who he is, if he's a wizard or what, but he said I needed to tell you something. And he said he needs you alive. Well, he needs your group alive for something. I don't know what, but he kept me out of trouble, so I said I'd pass on the message. But anyway.
Was he one of us?
I don't know. Well, no, he wasn't one of, like, your group. I've been watching for a while, but no, I don't know who he is, but he said that you were going somewhere that was pretty bad, and that chances are not many people will come back from such a place, and he said that I should speak to you because it may come to it that you may need to broker a deal in order to get out of there alive. And he said that you would know what to do when the time is right, and you would be able to do what needs to be done. I don't know. Don't ask me.
Well, that's ominous. Completely ominous.
You're telling me, but...
yeah, right?
He starts coughing again, and by now it sounds like he's sort of bringing something up as he does. It's sort of a horrible sort of wet, wretched cough. Goes on for about 30 seconds before... Look, I gotta go. They're looking for me everywhere over here. I've gotta get back in the shadows. I'll be watching you as you travel. I'm gonna get a head start today, but... keep going, and, you know, I'm going to tell you this, that I know I've not been there for a while now, but I've been watching you and what you've been doing. You've done some things, but I'm...
Some things.
You've done some things, all right. I'm not going to be around for much longer, but keep going, okay? Keep going. Do what needs to be done, and stuff. You know, I'm no good at this. I'm going now. Bye.
One foot in front of the other, Master, as always.
That's about as much as you've ever had a conversation from him. Perhaps the longest, and...
Yeah, it makes me concerned.
Yeah, he was not only almost vaguely nice, he's normally a bit more distant than that, but he sounded like he was dying from the noises he was making.
Well, I'm shook. I think I'm just going to sit on the table.
What was that about? Why are you talking in the cup?
You're not going to get a response from Rogel. He's just staring off.
Oleg reaches over and starts eating Rogel's breakfast while he's distracted.
You are a very little guy.
Well, I'm just glad I finished that before he ran off with it.
I'm not sure you should be so happy that you drank whatever in that cup, because it made him do strange.
Yeah, I was the one that drank it.
At this point, the bar lady...
You guys are absolutely terrible. Rogel snaps back and brushes Oleg's hands away from his food. No.
I'm still fine.
The bar lady comes back at this point asking if you would like any more.
Lady, just a quick question. What was the business about goblins?
At this point, she's hiding her face from you, her hair sort of covering the majority of, her face. Oh, don't worry, I was just being silly, you know. Must have been seeing things. No, it was probably just a child or something like that.
What is it that you saw? Because we are investigating.
Oh no, you better not do that. It was just something like a child. Do you want to roll me an intuition?
Yep.
Have a read into things. Okay. You've seen someone try to hide bruising before on their face. You've seen that sort of cocked angle where someone looks at you at the corner of one eye. You can tell this woman's taken a beating. She's trying to hide something and she's doing a poor job of it.
I'm going to ask her. Lady, are you okay? You seem like you don't want to discuss this. Maybe if we go a little bit more over there, where the lady cannot see us. And I want to charm.
Sure. She's rolled an intuition check and she gives you a little bit of an eyeball. All right, this way. And as she passes the barman, I'm just going to fetch this man some cheese. He wants a wheel. And takes you to the corner of the building, and at which point her hair's brushed to one side. She very coyly sort of introduces you to her appearance, which is that of someone with a thick and juicy black eye. It was... right. I swear I saw one. It was a goblin. I think anyway it was green. You don't see green children. Anyway, I started talking, and it wasn't long before the owners of the warehouses came round and knocking, and they did this. I told my husband I just fell down the stairs. You know, I'm clumsy like that. I've done it before. But they said they wanted me to stop talking about such things. They said it was going to be bad for their business. So I know how to, I don't want a beating again like that. So, well, here we are.
Who was this? Which warehouse? What was their names?
It's... You mean the names of the people or the group?
Yes. The persons that came to hit you, or were the bosses, or?
They didn't tell me their names. They looked like a bunch of thugs, but you could tell by what they were wearing. They were part of the deckhands. They own the 3 warehouses, and points out a window to the 3 warehouses along the side of the building, and they're part of the hooks, is what we call them. They run some of the docks round here. But as I say, they said that there's no such thing as a goblin there, and that I must be balmy, and that, I need to keep my mouth shut because I'm doing bad for their business.
Well, lady, I think you saw what you saw, but if those guys hurt you, you better not say anything about it. But we will see if there was anything.
All right, well.
Never you mind anymore.
I tell you what, if you see one of them, you give him a little bit of this for me.
And she raises her fist up.
I don't like a bully.
We will.
Good. And you sort them out, I'll give you... you can have another drink on the house, all right?
That's fine by me.
All right, then. Well...
lifts up a tankard.
Here's one on the house to get you going, all right?
And gives you a drink.
There's no talking people in it, right?
What?
Never mind.
All right.
Looks bemused as you walk away. Right, and on that, guys, we're going to take ourselves a little 10-minute break. So stay tuned for part 2. We'll be running for another hour and 40, give or take. So, yeah, buckle up, stay tuned. Thank you for stopping by, and see you again in about 10 minutes. Doodles! Yo, what's up? Welcome back, guys and girls, to second half of this episode. We are currently within a tavern. As a very quick recap for the session for those of you that haven't not been here the entire duration. The group are currently investigating some sightings of a goblin by a warehouse and discovered that the owners of the warehouses of the area had beaten up the poor lady who had been spreading the gossip that she thought she'd seen a goblin there at night, telling her that it was bad for business and she needed to shut a gob, and there was no such thing as a goblin, and there were no goblins there. Currently the group are still within the tavern, eating some food. Joris has been offered another drink. And by the way, a massive shout out to Moo Man, who's made this character sheet, because he's actually just done an update for us mid-session, so now the skills actually work, because there was an update and I apparently hadn't thoroughly tested everything. I thought I had, but there you go. But everything's working now, so now we don't have to, things will be a little bit smoother in terms of rolls. So, guys and girls, it's back over to you. There's no girls, I lied. It's back over to you guys.
Okay.
Joris, I believe you're still talking to the lady with now a tankard of ale in your hand.
Yeah. Thanks for the drink. I hope there's no voices in it, and we'll get it sorted. And I will go back to the party and sit down. Look, guys, I've got two big spots. One is gambling, and the other one is well, the damsels in distress. And this lady, she's well, somebody clocked her one, you know. She's got a nice shiner. And it was when she asked about the goblins, and somebody beat her to shut up about it. So there's something strange going on here.
Ooh, it's a secret.
Who hit her?
Well, somebody from I think she said the hooks from the three warehouses across.
So, Steve Doors, eh? I don't know the local gangs in Altdorf, but Steve Doors you want to stay away from. They stick together, they work in teams, big teams. You piss one off, the whole hive comes after you. It's not good, like bees. Angry, stinging bees with big clubs
Who were
that
they
can
stung
drown
by?
you.
And muscles.
And yeah, body disposal, they stick you in a crate and they bring you over to the river and you get
Yeah,
dropped.
you learned how to play rock pants from them, right?
It's beyond the rock pants.
Oh, we call them stone feet in Mario.
Yeah, every city has its own gang, so it sometimes rivals. We could ask. They might try and attack us, so perhaps if we are discreet about asking if we can assist for some coin.
Well,
Did she say who sent them?
no, she said that she was sure there were some people from the warehouse that said it was bad business. But maybe we can. You can ask with your river guard, maybe.
Yeah, I should probably stop in at the station and just make sure everything is sound. Maybe if there's a wanted poster or not for any of us.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
yeah. So, we should ask about the warehouse. What else should we be snooping about for?
Any signs of the goblin, I guess.
Yeah, at the warehouse, the goblin. Okay.
But we probably need to talk to the owners, or at least make sure we're not going to end up like her.
Well, after the drubbing I took last night, I don't think somebody could punch me as hard.
You're still bruised from the night before. Feeling better today, but there's still like a really
Like a fist-sized bruise on his forehead right now.
pretty much, and it's very tender to touch. Like wearing your hat over it, it's kind of, you have to put it at a bit of a jaunty angle just to kind of avoid the bruise.
Of course.
So we're still on day 2, right? Like,
Yeah.
So, or are we on day 3?
We're on day
We
2.
might be.
We're on day 3 now.
Are we on day
Day-
2?
Yeah.
I
Because
thought yesterday was day 1.
Depends when you start it, but you're leaving tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So day 2.
Yeah, tomorrow
All
morning
right.
is when you're due to leave at sunrise.
Yep.
So, I will go to the river wardens and see what I can find out. And where should I meet everybody?
Are we going to have a look at the warehouse? Just, observe it a bit, see if we can.
Okay. Oleg, you make your way to the appropriate station, which you've been given directions to, and you can have a simple gossip or charm with a plus 20 for you are one of their own, so easy for you to spark up a little bit of conversation with them. Hey, notice the rolls now work. Thank you, Mooman. Right, yeah, quickly you spark up a little bit of banter, and apparently the Hooks have been suffering in terms of business recently. Their rival gang, the Fish, have been taking up more business, and they have been thoroughly loving it. All because of some stories regarding a goblin in or around the warehouses of the Hooks. But yeah, apparently they have been beating a few people up that have been spreading the rumours just to try and get some business back, but with not much luck yet. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. So,
thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful day.
And Oleg's going to kind of make his way out and meander back to the group, wherever they might be at.
Okay. Meanwhile, Yoris, Rogel, Oleg, Carl, the actual warehouses themselves are fenced off with about a 6-foot-high wooden fence going around the entirety of, let's say, their domain. So, what would you like to do with that?
Well,
Wow, would you look at the size of that wall?
Can you, if you stand on my shoulders, you can look up.
Maybe. Yeah,
We
maybe.
can try.
Is that a good idea? But yeah, let's do it. See what we can see.
Okay. You don't have to make a roll to lift Rogel up, he's tiny. So Rogel gets a boost just to have a little spy over. Rogel, you can sit there for a minute, make a perception or test for plus 40, just as you sit there for a minute observing the warehouses. It's just to see how much information you can see. You see out of the 3 warehouses, 2 currently seem to be in use, with stuff coming in and out, and a degree of commotion. You notice the other one is not being used. That's all you get with your plus 1.
So we want to go towards the one that's not being used.
It's in the middle of the 2. It's quite a busy area. You can see some sort of 30, 40 individuals around the dock front, just sort of between 2 of the buildings where you are currently, and you can hear quite a lot of hustle bustle, etc. You can't overhear actually what's being said, though.
Hey guys, it looks pretty busy. Like really busy. It's kind of hot. I don't know if we could sneak in there right now or anything like that.
We can try.
From what you saw, you could maybe try and get in like the back of one if you can kind of like pry open some wooden planks. That because you were like, let's say, behind them, looking at the back, but between 2 of them. So, I mean, yes, there's still people lifting and moving stuff. You would think it very difficult, but perhaps possible to sneak inside from what you've observed.
So if you're a bad sneaker, stay out. Basically. All right. So who's gonna go? Well, first off, so I saw 2 of the warehouses are in use. The one in the middle is not. It's nobody's going in or out. I'm assuming that if there's anything that they're hiding, it's going to be in that one where the workers aren't going in and out.
We could try, saying we work there or we want to work there and maybe swindle our way. I don't have any concrete ideas right now.
This is where I missed the marmalade.
Do we want to bluff our way in? Do we want to ask the owners
Have
they
I
want help with
returned
their
yet?
problem.
Has Oleg returned yet?
Oleg's just arrived back with you guys. He's catching up on the conversation.
Okay.
I learned a few things about the fact that there is another rival gang of stevedores known as the Fish, who have been taking work from the Hooks because of this rumor. So maybe the Hooks would hire us to move the goblin to the Fish's warehouse?
Okay.
Huh.
Or
Wait,
just
what?
start the rumor that the Fish have a goblin instead and then get paid for it. I don't know. Instead of just breaking in for the hell of seeing a goblin and not getting paid, and instead getting attacked for breaking into a warehouse?
But what authority do you have? Because maybe you can say it's an inspector for rats. Or we can even say it's rats about.
No, once it's off the boat, it's out of my jurisdiction.
You can
Yes,
offer
but-
to help with
I
the
don't
rat
have any
situation.
jurisdiction on anything like this, so no.
And what about you, Carl? Maybe we can say we've got rats and we can help.
I kind of like Oleg's idea of turning one of the stevedores against the other, and then we kind of profit on being the middlemen.
Well, we could speak to the owners and see if we can get help. Well, let in. Offer to help them with the situation.
Oleg, you seem to be the only one that's capable of talking to these people, so you lead the way.
Oh, good. Follow me then.
He just looks for the nearest entrance to the warehouses. Might have an office and
Okay.
or a guard. Perhaps a guard posted outside he can speak with.
There is indeed a guard posted outside, who pretty gruff, rough and ready looking individual, thick beard down sort of halfway down his chest, very weathered, leathery looking skin, gives you sort of a bit of a squinted look. Let's just get ourselves a better dock. We'll go with we've only got a couple of days. We'll go with this one. It's a top-down
boats.
view, but you can make your way along the waterfront with Theo following closely behind. The individual has his arms folded as you approach. Hey up. What can I do for you?
Hello, my name is Oleg, and I and my companions here have heard a few interesting rumors, and we're wondering if we might be able to offer our services to you in effectively perhaps destroying those rumors, removing the source if there is one, or perhaps making the rumors go towards a competitor.
At the moment you had said you'd heard rumours, you could see his face turn to like sort of an angry snarl. The rest of the sentences seem to kind of appease him slightly. Make a charm test, please. Pretty much as I described, he started off and looked like he was just about to raise a fist to sort of punch you and shove you away. And as you said that very last couple of words, he sort of sinks back, unfolds his arms a little bit, strokes his beard for a moment, tells you to wait where you are while he goes and gets a boss. Has you waiting with another individual, quite young, silent type, while he goes. A couple of minutes later, comes back with a big burly man. Large sort of burlap vest that looks like it perhaps was once a sack. Not particularly well off looking, but enough muscle to at least imply that he's... Hang on, where's our dock sound effects? There we go, much better, much better. He walks up. Hello lads, what can I do for you?
Yes, so we have perhaps a business opportunity for the both of us. After hearing some horrible malign the rumors being spread about that clearly couldn't be true, we have come to perhaps assist you with removing of those rumors, or maybe seeing if it is really your competitors who have the infestation problems.
Smiles to himself. I'll assume right now we're carrying on with your previous roll because you've already rolled a charm. With me. And steps you inside and takes you toward an office. Eyes you up and down for a few moments. This is a pretty industrious dock by Bogharthen standards. This is sort of seems to be maybe twice the size. Quite a lot of equipment, goods, food generally being shipped on and off of a couple of what looks like more commercial barges that are currently at the docks for these particular warehouses. Right. We have a problem. We have a big problem. One of our warehouses is infested. And the lads, let's say they don't get on too well with the greenskins. We've tried clearing a few out, but every time we go in there, there's more of the blighters. It's not just one, it's a few. If you want to go in there and deal with them, you could be my guest. If you want to take them over to the fishies and drop it in a warehouse, I'll pay you for your day's work. Provided, of course, you put it in the one with food. It's the one on the left. I can show you directions. You see, they seem to get on well with the cheese. It's our central warehouse here. Primarily is associated with the trade of cheese. And it seems that those little fungal blighters somehow managed to reproduce with the stuff. Disgusting.
Cheesy goblin?
It would seem so.
It has the smell.
You can guess.
Oleg kind of looks at the crew.
Shall we assist these noble gentlemen?
Yeah.
Might I point out...
What's the compensation?
Someone can roll a haggle to try and negotiate a price for this day's work.
As you've seen, Rogel's haggle is terrible, so...
Whoever wants to roll.
Great.
Oleg, you will get a plus 20 because these are your people.
All right, let's do it.
I can't roll anything.
Wow.
Not the best price.
So I pay you to do this? Or...
Yes. No, not quite. You're not that bad at haggling, but nearly. Well, it is a fumble, isn't it? Actually, he needs to oppose it, so...
Yeah, I doubt you're rolling 100.
Okay, so the two of you fumble around for a few seconds, exchanging various nautical terms before coming to a rough agreement of 5 silver a head for dealing with the problem, and another 5 silver and a bonus of 3 if you can take a goblin and sneak it into the warehouse and stick it in. But he does suggest you might want to do that at night, mind you. Dragging a goblin through the streets isn't going to go down well. And don't ask me where the bloody thing came from. It just appeared here one day. Must have been in one of the containers, or... well, I don't know.
It's probably the fish sabotaging you.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're lowlives. Honest work, that's what we do. Honest
I've heard many
work.
good things about the hooks, and you were strong like the metal your hooks are made from.
Smiles a little bit and looks proud for a few seconds. There's nearly a tear. Right, so, do we have an accord? Goes to shake hands.
Absolutely. And Oleg
As long as you
says,
provide the binding equipment, if we're gonna try and smuggle one over there.
My dear, if you need a box,
Points around him.
Thank you very much.
The dock is full of boxes.
Do you think a goblin in a box will weigh more than a pig in a dress?
Maybe.
Uh,
I want to know what his expression is when he hears that.
You know when a dog all of a sudden cocks its head like 45 degrees?
Labrador.
Yeah, his head cocks like 45 degrees, and he's like smiling and nodding for a second, and it's like, what?
We have an accord.
And Oleg reaches out to shake his hand.
Right, he shakes hand. The lads have boarded up the back. The only way in and out's one, well, we have now boarded up the back. One of them got out the other night and was running around. We managed to squish the blighter, but as I say, the lads have had enough of going in there dealing with them. Last few lads didn't make it out, so good luck.
Yeah. Cheesy goblins.
5 silver ahead? Yes.
Kurt, take them round. They're going to deal with the rats.
God, I'm tired of dealing with rats.
Hey, at least these ones, yeah. Cheesy.
Right. Okay. Do I actually have a warehouse? No, I don't. So I'm going to just look for something that vaguely resembles a warehouse. One of the few things I didn't think to actually
As
include.
we improv our way to hide
Yeah.
his,
So for anyone watching this right
demise.
now, this is not planned. These intersessions are entirely improv now. So wherever the guys go is pretty much up to them, and what they do and where they choose to die is completely up to them. Meanwhile, I have to try and find something that vaguely resembles a barn, a tavern. No, we're just going to have to roll with this. Top down docks night. I'm just going to check a couple more, but I think we're probably going to have to roll with one we got. But that's fine. That'll work just fine. 200 maps I have in total, and I don't have a bloody barn. Oh, there's a perfect one as well on the hay barrel map from Vermintide. I'll tell you why I don't have that, actually. It's the only one photo mode doesn't work in. Right. No, this is the map in question. So, you are taken to the front of the building. A couple of boxes that have been lent up on the outside are shifted to one side by a rather haggard-looking individual. Carl, what you currently have Theo in your hands right now, your trusty dog. What are you doing with him?
I'm going to leave him outside.
You're going to leave him outside. One of them sort of gladly takes him. Theo tries to sort of bite his fingers, but he sort of holds him by the body and just puts him inside a box. Seems to be the safest place for him. Right, some more appropriate music.
It's a kennel.
The group of you step within a very dark and completely unlit room with a very foul smell that instantly hits your nose as you look inside. Not a lot of light inside, I'm afraid. Haven't had time to shorter torches and such, but yeah, you'll be all right. Don't worry, just shout if you need us. We'll be back here. There are a few cracks of light that come down from around you, just between boards that you can see have been put over the windows of this building.
I have a torch, and I'm going to hand it to Oleg.
Okay. Oleg stops reaching for his storm lantern at his belt and instead takes the torch.
Okay. I assume one of you has matches, so you spark up a torch. It's as you do, the flame instantly ignites and seems to burn particularly brightly in here. There is a misty, musky smell around you, and a very unusual fragrance to the air. Let's say like a strong Stilton. As well as that, some noises in the distance. This is a... There we go. A bit of music. Sounds perhaps like rats. Slightly different. Seem to be coming from the other side of the warehouse.
Choice draws his sword, just to be...
After you, large ones.
So Oleg's going to advance with his shield out on his arm.
Okay,
and,
so shield in one
torch
hand,
his
torch in the
hand.
other. Okay, so Oleg is stepping in first. What's the formation here, guys?
I can go in after him. That's fine.
Rogel a close second. Joris and Carl, where are you going in relation to these two as the four of you walk into this building?
I'll flank to the left.
Okay. So you're kind of grouped around Rogel in some sort of triangle formation.
With the
okay.
lights at the front.
There is a large amount of crates inside, so you're kind of having to step between them. It is about 2 meters wide, the gaps between. There is some structure to the arrangement of these, and it's sort of crate upon crate upon crate of cheese you can spy in as you walk past the first couple. Cheese wheels, most of which have teeth marks, gnawing, and a greenish blue tint of mould and a few mushrooms that seem to be sprouting out of them. Particularly weird, you've never seen a mushroom grow out of cheese before, but nevertheless this is where you find yourselves, walking in a foul-smelling warehouse into a very dark area. These crates are also piled up some 8 feet either side of you, so just so to give you a bit of a visualization, your vision is basically between the corridors formed by these crates, each one, let's say, roughly the size of a coffin. So pretty large and stacked up pretty high. Very, very industrious place. As you step forward, Oleg, you have night vision, so you can make me a perception test.
Perception. Looks safe.
Minus
I do as
2.
well.
Yeah. And do you want to roll an intuition test to GM, Oleg? It seems a bit of a... you can roll a... is it Sixth Sense? Nose for trouble?
Mm-hmm.
Your stomach ache when you're about to be attacked is
I'll do a blind roll so I don't know.
Ooh, I think we can turn that down a tiny bit.
I have 6 sense too.
Okay, you can do the same. Okay, Oleg, you feel safe.
That was supposed to be blind. Huh.
2-camera game master. Oh well, may need a shift, but you feel pretty safe, Oleg. All is well. Cheese is nice, though. You like cheese. You haven't had cheese in a while. Likewise, Joris, you feel quite relaxed right now. And Rogel...
that's going to be nose for trouble.
Okay, you haven't seen anyone to assess whether they mean you any harm or not yet, but I will carry that through as to when you do see someone.
Exactly.
You're telling me he can't smell the trouble in the cheesy air?
Not quite. You carry on walking forward until you're roughly in the centre of this. Again, the same scurrying noises. All around you now. Vague bits of shadow seem to be moving left and right. You can't make out what it is. Seems to be keeping quite some distance away from you, or what they are. Up ahead of you, Oleg, is a small individual that steps out from the shadows.
What do you want, Umi? What are you doing here?
Hello, yeah, you speak? Yeah, this is good.
This is my kingdom. It's my cheese.
Yes.
Clear off.
Cheese. Perhaps we can strike an amicable deal, huh?
I'll give you to the count of 3.
Oleg's going to throw the torch at him.
Just as he goes to say 1, throw the torch. You can make a ballistic skill test just to see if you can throw it at him.
Okay.
I don't think you have thrown, so...
Nope.
Okay, lands off to the side. Right, now for a A small description. I'm just going to set up this fight, guys, for those of you in chat. So what I'm going to do, just to not spoil the surprise, is I'm going to go to the BRB screen for 30 seconds while I drag and drop a few things around, and then we'll load on back. So 30 seconds, we will be back.
Still try it.
Right.
I'll do something special.
No,
We're
it's
back.
okay.
Olegs, you have just thrown a torch, and as you do, he dips to the side, just dodging it. Get him! Out of nowhere, or not out of nowhere, out of the shadows comes a mob of what you can only describe as small, green, teethy-looking children that come lurching and charging towards you with a mixture of bits of cheese in their hand, some of them holding onto little sticks, basically legging it towards you. Let's roll initiative. Right, begin combat. So, who is to start us off? Oh, come on, help me out here. Right, there we go. Carl, out of nowhere, catching you slightly off guard. A small, tiny critter that jumps towards you and reaches for your leg. Right, we're going to give them... It is just going for a basic unarmed attack. There you go, and it fumbles. Fantastic. Let's have a defensive roll from you.
Using my melee weapon, yeah?
Using your melee weapon, yep. You just roll it as normal. And let's just... I'm going to just check that in a second. We need to go for dramatic music now.
Oh.
There we go. Right, back to it. No, that's fine. You win the test. You gain 1 advantage as you manage to just kick it straight off. No! Managed to kick it a few feet flying. It's getting up again. It's going to charge towards you, but it's for now. You've kept it at bay.
Fumbled.
It did fumble. Well remembered. The fumble is that stumble badly right itself. It loses its next movement. Okay, it's still technically in base contact with you. It's just been kicked a couple feet away, but it's lost its next movement as it sort of lands on its side a few times. Another one, Carl, comes charging towards you. Again, getting a charge, 1 advantage, and now outnumbering you, the 2 of them. Basically, it's going to have a swing. Same again, your advantage should be factored in. Yep, you've got your 1 advantage there. -3 for it. Let's see how we do. +1, you gain another advantage. 2.
Good question.
Fire
Does
away.
he have size advantage on snotlings?
He will when attacking, yes. This will be factored in. They are small. The only reason they don't fear you right now is because they outnumber you so much. The situation may change. But yes, you will have size advantage. So basically, they would have +10 to hit you, which I forgot to factor in. But they would have -20 to defend against you. So they're going to be pretty easy for you to mop through. In front of you, Oleg, is slightly larger goblin, about a bit bigger than Rogel, pointing towards you. He has half a top of a lid that he currently has as a shield, and a bit of sort of sharp-looking metal that vaguely resembles a sword. He's picking the 2 up and looking towards you. This is my kingdom! Shove off!
Oleg's going to look at him and just start screaming boat as loud as he can and as intimidating as he can.
Okay, you can make an intimidation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to re-roll that. I have 1 left.
Okay. We need to do a cool, which would be willpower.
Yay.
Okay. Your he is successful. Sorry, you are successful, and he does look scared of you. He looks like he probably will try and scarper. All right. However, he starts running, but nothing else occurs from this. Carl! Rather unlucky on the turn order here. Another one. Both of your legs have now been attacked, although one of them has had a little bit more success in sort of latching onto it. Again, you kick the second one back. The third one, though, goes again for the first leg, trying to bite down with its teeth. They now outnumber you 3-1, but you're doing rather well. Right, let's see how you do. Right. SL +1. It is going to hurt a bit. Jesus. 10. Okay. Unfortunately, that is your advantage down. That hurts. It bites into your flesh and rips a chunk out, and a bit of blood starts spurting. You feel it may have chunked straight into an artery. Right, finally, someone else, Yoris. Now, you have to take into account the small opponents do die very quickly, so we'll have to see how that goes. Yoris, you get charged, and no bonus there. Does have one advantage, though. Right, -2, -5. Oof. Sticking with the roll?
Nope.
Gonna re-roll. Roger, roger. Oh dear. Why did I bait you into that? Hang on a second. You start the opposed test. Snotling apart starts. Right. Apply. Oh no. Did it actually take you down? How much damage did it do? 7.
I only.
Oh my word. Okay, I'm sorry, Yoris. A dislocated knee. Oh dear. Right, we're going to drag and drop that. Going to drag that. How does that look? Dislocated knee, critical. Let's just see what that does for the audience. Your knee is wrenched in and out of its socket. Gain a prone condition, pass a hard endurance test. Do you mind doing an endurance test for me to see if you're stunned?
Yeah, just a sec.
Okay, you're not stunned, but you are prone. You can still attack while prone, so you're not unconscious, but... Carl, it's you to go.
Right, I'm going to have a stab at that one that went for my arm. So
Okay, go for the one that went for you. Have a swing.
Where are we? Don't have any advantage anymore, do I?
No advantage. -1, and it is going to roll in response. -6, so a definite win from you. And pow. Right, you slay the first one easily. You have a sword, right? I'm trying to...
No, dagger.
You have a dagger. Okay, describe to me what you do with this dagger.
He was attached to my left arm, wasn't he?
Yes.
So, slam it into the side of his head to get him off my arm.
It easily goes through. The head just sort of bursts open, leaving a little puff of smoke. Now, because these are smaller than you, he actually would have had -20 to defend as well, which I didn't include. You get another attack. Because it's so easy to mow through these, it's your go again.
Okay, I'll try for that one then. Oof.
So -2 and... oh, wow. Unfortunately, kind of putting a little bit of a rain on your parade there. The snotling somehow manages to avoid the dagger and sort of quickly climb over your shoulder and get out the way of it. Putting your advantage back to 0 and its advantage to 1. You're a little bit outnumbered and things are looking a little bit on the grim side. Who is to go next? Another snotling. This snotling is going to attempt to... Carl, you're currently... This is going to go and just try and jump on Rogel, seeing an opportunity with you facing the other way. It is going to make a charging attack, possibly the first ever time Rogel has been attacked in combat.
No.
At least it's your size.
Yes. Yeah, it is small as well. So, Rogel, you can do a dodge. You can oppose with whatever you want to oppose with. 0. So that is 0 for both. But you, I believe, have the better base roll. Let's have a look. Yeah, you do win. Gaining you 1 advantage. Right.
Yay!
Another snotling to go. Yoris being on the floor, this little one is going to jump on Rogel as well, seeing the opportunity of one of his, I'm not going to call it allies, but one of his fellow little children. He's going to charge in and make a roll. Right, 1 advantage for the charge. He does outnumber you now.
Does he, even with Oleg standing right next to me?
Oleg is facing the other way. I'm going to say not
okay,
necessarily
yeah,
engaged with them. But he rolls a -1, so let's have your defense. And you have your 1 advantage now. Right, +7. An easy maneuver for you to dodge out the way of. You are okay. Rogel, it's you to go. What are you going to do?
I'm going to cast magics.
It's probably a good idea.
Yes, let's go ahead and dart.
I was...
So you're saying that now you want me to be like in a directionality kind of thing. So I'm gonna be kind of targeting to the bottom left.
Yep. So
in that
yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Angle.
There's 4 of them. I'd say 5 you can hit with that.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast, starting at the closest one to me. Cast this spell. Thank you. How are the winds? Anything positive, negative?
It's very cheesy in here, but neutral. It's windy, but it's
There you
all
go, I hit
Stilton.
4 of them.
You hit 4. That will be... which 4 would you like to kill?
It's going to be in sequential order.
Yep.
From
1,
closest to
2,
farthest.
3, 4. Okay. Well done. You may have saved the day. In seeing you do that, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. No longer outnumbering you. Let's have a cool test for a snotling. I wonder how this will go. Okay.
Wow.
Infuriated
Wow.
by you destroying its other ones, it looks around. He charges towards you, jumping over Yoris, leaping over his prone body, using it as a springboard. You hear a as he does, jumping onto you, Rogel. Right, let's try again. It swings at you. -1. Let's have a dodge.
And I'm going to dodge. Yep. All right. Target him. And then dodge. Roll.
Okay, you successfully dodge. You're capped on advantage already. He loses all of his. And where are we now? Yoris, you're on the floor currently. You have a prone condition. What are you going to do?
The only thing I can do is stand up.
Yep. Are you... Well, I think you could remove it with a resolve and then have an action still, or you could just stand up as your action.
Then I'm going to use a resolve and attack.
Okay.
Use the resolve to stand up and then...
Yeah, the resolve would be at least in my ruling today, resolve would allow you to stand up for free, being a temporary feat of bravery. You're able to quickly spring to your feet. Perhaps it's just the ale fueling you from earlier, and make a swing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Okay. I'll make a swing and shout in furious anger and at the top of my lungs, Formula!
Okay. That's -2. But -20 to defend. -8. Easily cleaving through that one. You're able to swipe it in two. You have... I'd say that's your... I'd say the getting up probably doesn't allow you to move and then roll over, but you do have an advantage at least from that.
Great.
Right. moving on. The goblin is going to attempt to hide.
Should I not have gotten an opportunity on that when it tried to disengage?
I was not on the impression that you were in, like, base-to-base contact, but if you wanted to walk up to it...
thought we were.
If you wanted to walk up, you could. In which case, I'll allow you an attack as it goes to run away now.
Yeah, I just want to do a non-lethal bopping.
Yep, non-lethal bop, off you go. Sort of a strike to stun, as it were. This will be... you get plus 20 for attacking it in the rear. It will be an unopposed attack as well. Yeah, one advantage.
Let's do that. And you said 20.
Okay. You basically knock it unconscious by hacking at one of the left leg. The leg nearly comes off, but it sort of tries crawling away at this point. It sort of goes into critical at that point through the leg. Let's just table crit leg. Oh, table crit leg. It has a cut on its leg. Ooh. Okay, you cut its leg. It's bleeding out. Kind of. It's not kind of got blood. It's got this kind of green jelly that kind of gradually starts seeping out. Looks weird to you. Smells very fragrant. Right. The goblin is now on the floor, so it's not going to do anything. And 2 more cool checks for snotlings, now with more of a penalty. Yep. You hear scurrying noises as seemingly 2 of these little blighters start running towards the back end. This one actually passes. Carl! Bad news, my friend.
Okay, fantastic.
1 more charge at you. Oh dear. It's having a good go. -4. It's going to hurt a little bit, I'm afraid. We'll have to see what it does. How come it passed? I forgot to give it a -20, but it did still pass. Good lord. Right, you ready to see... Oof. Okay, a torn muscle. Combat. There we go. Torn muscles. Blow slams into your forearm. You gain a bleeding condition. Torn muscle, minor injury. An extra 2 wounds are suffered, but you're already on 0, so that's fine. Right. We now have... that one's dead. That one's dead. Oleg, it's you to go.
Oleg is going to, I guess, try and secure the goblin that he downed. The one that's on Rogel isn't really near me, correct?
10 feet behind you. You could step there in a few steps.
Is the goblin moving at all still?
It's currently trying to kind of bite him. It's like watching 2 children wrestle with each other.
I meant the one he kebabbered earlier.
You wouldn't have been able to see back there as to what happened. There'd be some boxes between you and Carl, so...
I wasn't talking about that. The goblin that he did the non-lethal attack on.
Oh, sorry, I thought when you were saying he, I thought you meant Rogel.
That's okay.
No, the goblin you have kebobbled is kind of on the floor in a pile of mess. It's still kind of breathing and...
But it's not trying to escape?
It doesn't look like it can. Its leg is completely gone.
Alright, yeah, then he's going to pivot around and... you said it was 10 feet away?
Yeah, so you can charge on the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so that'll be 2 advantage.
Yeah, I popped you up. -1 for him. And you cleave it in 2 very, very, very easily. How do you kill it with your boat hook, in fact? I will rock on. So, Carl, you currently are laying on your front with a... when you fall to 0 wounds, you'll gain the prone condition, I believe. So to stand up, you can use a resolve if you want to still attack it, or you can just stand up as your action.
Would the resolve stop the bleeding, or would that just...
Yes, to remove the bleeding you would need to use a resolve, so you can remove the bleeding if you wish.
Okay, I'll remove the bleeding then.
Which...
Does that mean that I need to use my action as a...
yeah, I would allow you to do that and stand up. But
Yep.
no action, but you sort of stand up, ready yourself, and a small little goblin. It's Rogel to go before the snotling, so Rogel, what are you going to do?
Well, seeing as this guy just got decked and laid out in front of me, I guess I'm gonna help him.
Yeah, it's just like a squishy pile on the floor now. And the smell is just... yep, Cole is definitely in need of help. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna blast it with magic.
Okay, fire away.
With my magic.
Easily enough to clear off of Carl. Carl and Joris both have seen better days, but both are alive. Thanks to you. The task is done, so it seems. A couple had scurried away and hidden, but for the sake of sort of brevity, you're able to find them and quickly meet their sort of head with a dagger. A fairly sort of humane death for something so disgusting. The place is covered in fungus, however, so yeah, some of the fungus vaguely seems to be sort of in places. You can see the cheese wheels, you can see a little like hand starting to poke out from it. You get the impression that these things have somehow been using the cheese to breed. How they do this, only Sigmar knows, but...
I think maybe they need to burn this warehouse down.
Guy.
Should we take one of the boxes with us to the other gang's warehouse?
Yeah, I made sure to knock out the goblin so we can shove it in a box and bring it over at night.
Take some of the cheeses as well.
We can just scrape
yeah.
off the molds.
Yeah,
Grab a
take
couple
some of
weekend.
the cheese that's got the mold on it, bring it with them. Just dump that all into their cheese warehouse, and they'll start breeding immediately.
I'm going to, or Oleg will take some of the cheese that's nearby, and he is wearing his gloves, and smear it on the goblin's wound to try and staunch the bleeding.
You can do so. It seems confusing as to how it works, but it works. The goblin, I'm assuming you unarm. It's worth pointing out by this point that Joris's knee currently needs resetting. It is not where it should be. You look at the patella, and it's like right round the side of the knee.
I know nothing about bodies and healing and stuff, so like, yeah.
We probably all know that Anisha...
You're on your own, mate.
Carl, if I box the goblin up, you can drag the box behind us, and I will help Joris.
Yep.
Hang on. And where is it? Just looking up a rule here.
Oops.
I'm just going to. Oh no, that's something different.
What are you looking up?
I thought you could remove. It's not a condition, is it?
No, it's not a condition. You can remove a critical effect with resilience, but then you're burning it permanently. But you only need a +20 heal test to reset it. And it's an extended test requiring 6 SL, but so basically you'll need a healer for a day to tend, to tend to Carl and Joris really.
And the dog,
I'll
I'm at it.
Well, just.
We have a
hop
healer back
along.
at the temple.
Yeah. Let's get these cheeses dropped off to their new home and get our money and get healed.
Yeah.
We would have to wait for the cheeses for night. Unless you know how to get into the fish warehouse during the day.
I could take one in a sack pretending to go for rats. Or a couple in a sack.
Might work.
That might work, but are you in any shape to do this?
Probably not.
One of your arms is currently like spewing a little bit of blood. Like you're not going to die from it, but
It's inconvenient.
it's inconvenient, and lifting anything with that arm right this second is going to be rather painful.
Why don't we
People
consult
learn how to dodge.
with our stevedore friend and see if he perhaps has an idea? Maybe we can do a boat inspection and put this on the boat that would then be unloaded by the fish.
Good idea. Make them do the work for us.
So I guess with that, he's just gonna box the goblin up with some cheese.
Okay.
Secure the crate as best as possible. Make sure the goblin is tied up, and then assist Joris in walking out.
Okay. As you go to leave, a gentleman outside sort of gives you an eyeball up and down, looking sort of concerned. I was listening in, God. You all right?
Been better.
Well,
Oh, and he grabbed the torch he threw.
Bloody heck, look at that knee. It's like you've been riding a donkey.
You could call it that, yes. Normally it's the correct position, but I don't suppose you know anybody who could set it.
Where? Boss could have a go. He's done a few bits similar, if you like. I'll go fetch him. You have a sit down.
It should work until we get you to a proper healer. The stevedores, they get into a lot of fights, so setting some bones, he probably knows his way.
Yeah, I've had a dislocated shoulder before, just give it a good yank.
A minute later, the boss comes back. Looks rather surprised that all of you have made it out in one piece, but, well, kind of. Hands you your 5 silver apiece, and after having had a look at the knee, actually, let's just give him a inspection. Yeah, it should be easy for him to do. He has a quick look at it, and it seems something simple, so he's happy to have a go. Gives you some reassurance that it's nothing outside of his skill set. So if you're happy, he's going to just try and twist it back into position.
Before they start, Oleg's going to offer his dagger hilt for Joris to bite on.
Oh, he's biting on his mop.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So his target, this is an extended test. So let's say this is basically... let's just have a little check up on this, because a dislocated knee, in theory, needs... after initial medical attention... okay, so after resetting it, then you need some extended care in order to be able to use it properly. But this is just to reset it first.
Yeah, that's why I said give it a big yank.
Yeah, so he's going to be rolling on a 60. It kind of nearly goes into place before pop. The kneecap buckles right way around to the knee again, and it's still off angle. He looks confused and a little frustrated. Well, it worked before. Ah, well. I'll
Just, try again. Just, two of you grab.
Actually, that is factoring in his. I will say, if he fails by more, bad things will happen.
If two people try it, it's an assist, and you get.
Yeah, he'll get an assist for this one. So we'll try again, rolling on a 70. He's going to be using some more force this time, so he's got a hammer as well, and he's pretty sure that he applies a force in the right direction. It's going to get the knee back where it should be, but you're going to have to look the other way, because it's not going to be pretty.
I'm just. It's going to look really cool if I have a wooden leg.
Okay. Okay, I'm afraid that's going to do some damage to it. So, let me just whop this out. Where is our...
I think I'm passed out.
-6. So we need to roll a... Yeah, you're not only unconscious, but I feel like we need to determine what they just did to your knee. The good news is you might lose it and get a wooden one. That's the good news. So let's just go crit leg. Nope. Table crit leg. There we go. That's the list. / table. He manages to twist your ankle as well. You pass out from the pain, though.
Hey, Oleg. We're about to lose 2 more.
My brother is still alive for now.
No, he ain't.
You are given directions, however, after Yoris passes out, and the guy sort of quickly, after hitting his knee with the hammer and hearing a crunch from his ankle, sort of puts the hammer down, sort of points you in the direction of a local barber who probably can do a better job. Regarding the box, the payment stands that if you want your bonus, as in the extra money, you can try and do it for them later, but he's not going to pay you the extra 3 silver to sneak it in. If you don't do it, that is. So if you want your extra 3 silver, I'm fairly sure after he does that to your compadre's knee, he'll raise it to 5.
Yeah, let us go look around. We'll leave the box here for now, and we'll be back this evening for it, or at least I will.
And you still owe us for the heads, right?
And I paid us.
He paid you 5 silver apiece. Yeah, you've got your 5 silver each from him. At this point, about 5 to 10 guys are heading inside the building and starting to clear out the cheese from within. See, as they move out and this sort of resetting of one's knee has been happening, most of it's being chucked into the water. Just seems to be the most humane thing to do. Right, so you are given directions to a healer. Is that where you're headed?
Yep.
Okay. Right, so we will go
Do I need to make any checks for carrying an unconscious person?
No. You've got Carl to help as well, and Carl's got one. Actually, yeah, you've only
Carl's carrying Theo.
Well,
Go and roll me a strength test just to see how well you do, or endurance. You can try strength. It wouldn't be endurance. And
I
you,
need to do an endurance test for my arm, don't I, as well?
I think
So many days of a torn muscle.
yeah, you can do that to see how quickly you can shake it off. I think that was a heal test that reduces it, but I might be wrong. Oleg, it takes you half an hour to carry him 100 yards. This isn't easy, but you get there in the end. You're fairly sure that you nearly drop him a couple times, and the leg that's currently limp and like flailing around bashes off of a few crates as you're carrying him past. But you get there in the end. If
it makes a crunch sound, it means the bone is healthy, right?
No, that's not how it works.
Right. Okay, so it's a heal test to fix your torn muscle there. Right, so you make your way to a barber. You are welcomed in, and the chap investigates Yoris.
Oh my! How did you get this? Bloody awful.
Stupidity.
He slipped on some cheese, and then someone tried to reset it who doesn't know what they were doing.
So it looks like. So it looks. I see bruising round the ankle. Patella. Well, the wrong way round, more or less. Well, I can do what I can. It's going to take a while. If you're happy to wait.
Is it more expensive than a peg leg?
Probably, but one tends to ask permission from the patient. I can wait for him to awaken if you like.
Nah, you can try and fix him.
Okay, will do. It's going to ask for some down payment up front, I'm afraid.
How much?
You're going to need an extended service here, so it's not necessarily the cheapest of things. 15 silver in total, and that will be including Carl.
What about the dog?
He could also, he'll bandage the dog as well, because you're basically hiring him for the entire day, so he can do all 3. Because you won't need to be with Yoris the entire day, but...
At the words 15 silver, Rogel just turns around and walks out.
Yoris is currently unconscious, and you do know where his coin purse is, so...
That's true. How much has yours got?
And Yoris, if you want to do an endurance test to see if you wake up as they pickpocket you, feel free.
As we loot the body.
Nope.
He's out cold.
No, I've 12 silver and 4 pennies.
I can cover yours if he does not have enough, but it's still a lot of silver.
What do we find in Yoris's pockets?
What he's got?
12.
He's got 12. It's 15 for the whole day for Carl and Yoris.
So,
You two should just split it.
Yeah, can do. I can put down.
7.5 apiece.
Yeah.
So
Or I'll
7,
just-
so 7 and 10.
right,
Right,
Oleg
so.
counts it out as best he can. He's not exactly supernumerate.
To reset the leg, we're now rolling on an 80. This is an extended test to see how quickly... Oh, dear. Okay. This is just to see how long it takes. Okay, the majority of the afternoon you're in there, Yoris. It's well into the late afternoon before you're able to stand on it, but he manages to get it in after about an hour of jiggling. I would say from that, given that you'll be resting and such, I'll do a separate roll to see how many wounds he can recover, just because I can't remember how it works. So it'll be his int bonus, and he'll be rolling on a 60. Okay. 6, you gain 10 wounds. So you actually feel pretty good. The knee is a bit roughed up. And for you, Carl, for 5 wounds. For the dog, 3 wounds, putting him up to... He looks better. Covered in bandages, but looks better. Yoris, by the end of the
he's not
day,
bad.
you're able to walk and limp. It's painful, but you're able to do it. So during the afternoon, Rogel and Oleg, what have you been doing while Carl and Yoris have been...
I'm actually like kind of super interested in that mirror. Like, is there anything on? Like, what else can I find on it? Can I investigate it?
Sure, roll a either evaluate or perception, depending on what type of info you want.
I don't have evaluate. That's like a class skill.
Yeah.
So, or a career skill. So I'm gonna go ahead and do perception, and then you can let me know what I see.
Okay. It looks like it's been largely handmade. It's a mixture of a wooden frame and a fairly sort of shoddy-looking glass sort of panel, which is, let's say, fairly cheaply made, but appears to be probably crafted out in a village, you would think. It's not something that particularly strikes you as local. It's sort of a weird design. In the back of it, given you've got a +3, you can sort of, underneath the sort of the back, you can sort of open it as a compartment, and there is a small sort of drawing of a woman. Looks fairly ordinary, but
So like a portrait, kind of. Like
yeah,
a drawn
it's
portrait?
like a hand-drawn portrait, fairly well done. But all of it just seeming to be more and more intriguing as you go.
Oh man, this is crazy. Okay, I'll have to continue looking into this. Figure out who this woman is.
There is a little bit of a scene in the background, but it's nowhere that you recognise. But
Okay. But now I have something that I can be like, hey, does anyone recognize it? Yay!
yeah, you get the impression that it's there's a couple of buildings and hills in the background. It's sort of a portrait of her stood in sort of the middle of the country. It's hard to tell where it is, but it's possible someone might recognise it. Oleg, what have you been up to?
I was muted, sorry. Oleg is going to case around the fish warehouse that they wanted it planted, the
Yep.
crate,
Yep.
cheeses, and kind of see if there is a easier route, and also he would like to somehow see, like, are they taking the crates off of boats first and then moving the crates to the warehouse, or are they just taking them straight off the boat and moving them directly to the warehouse?
A bit of both. Some are put outside and then taken inside. There's a mixture of different warehouses, but you were given directions to the one that contains food. Some's cheese, mostly it's fish, and some fruits as well, but predominantly fish seems to be their trade.
Okay, but there is some cheese.
There is some, yeah, not a huge amount, but there is some. Generally, a lot of it's taken straight inside, but some boxes are placed outside too. Surveying the actual area as you move around. This is less cordoned off and a little more free roaming. There seems to be a little bit more welcoming. Everyone's quite sort of boisterous and joyous around the area. Most of them sort of laughing, just having a good time of things. You do survey the warehouses. They're a little bit on the shoddy side. There's a couple of windows here and there that you think, well, maybe you could perhaps try and sneak through or climb through. It would be a tight fit with a box. You'd have to climb in, get someone to pass the box to you and put it down. That would be doable. Equally, you could try and perhaps jimmy one of the doors, but those might be your options, or leaving it outside and hoping for the best.
Okay.
But you're able to get a good survey of the scene and investigate.
Okay. I think that's about all there is right now until the evening, then.
Do you converse with anyone while you're there, or are you just sort of snooping?
Oh, I was... Actually, no. I'd like to go up and start up a conversation with the nearest fish that he can see.
Roll a gossip test for me, please. Plus 10. Plus 20, sorry.
20. Oh, wow. All right.
A little bit more standoffish than you'd expect. They tell you about business being good, but other than that, they're a little on the busy side. No one seems to be willing to converse.
Fair enough.
Righto. So I'll assume you all meet back at the surgeon's at this point. Joris, you're able to stand. Carl, we need a heal test to see how long... Okay, shaves a few days off, so instead of 30 days, it's going to be about 25. So we'll call it roughly 3 weeks, a little bit more, before your arm is good to go. We'll have to backtrack and see which arm was injured. You can still do things with it, but if it's your weapon arm, it'll be -10 to attacks.
I believe it was my left arm.
Then I am assuming you are right-handed like many.
Sorry?
I'm assuming you're right-handed,
Yes. Yeah.
in which case it's just going to be more difficult to carry the dog. But other than that, you can still fight as normal.
Yeah. I need to take my toughness bonus off the 30 days, and then the healing skill comes off.
I see. So yeah, that would be roughly similar.
Still roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are back together. What would you like to do?
What time is it?
Late afternoon by now. You've been there the majority of the day with Joris, so we'll say like 5-ish. So sun started to sort of dip behind some sort of thick clouds over in the distance.
Do you guys want to go back and try and do that sneak in thing with the goblin, or do you just want to leave it be and let them figure it out?
Well, it's not an extremely easy place to get into, but if you can get a door open, or if we can climb through a window and not be seen, then it's doable.
It's not as much money as we made from...
No, it's the most, actually. It's the same.
He's upped it to 5 now.
Oh, is it? Okay, so...
Given that 2 of you nearly died.
It's true, yeah. Speaking of, are the 2 that nearly died going to be joining for this, or I would imagine they would want to sit out?
It's up to them.
Well, it's not going to be sneaking I'm going to do. But maybe distract something somewhere safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you'd
So-
like, it could just be Rogel and I, and the rest of you can go back to the temple and pay another 5 silver.
Wait, did you take all my money or not?
No,
I
7.5 each.
Yeah,
Just
you've still got a
enough
few
to pay.
coins left, Yoris. By now, I'll assume Carl has explained to you that you paid half toward the surgeon
Yeah.
while unconscious.
Yeah, you guys got bummed pretty hard.
Yeah. I'm a bit
You-
unlucky like that.
You guys need to learn how to dodge. I mean, they weren't even that dangerous. You just like, oh look, step out of the way.
I slipped on some cheese.
Oh, that's not good. Maybe you should have mopped the floor first.
That's why I brought it.
I'm surrounded by losers.
All right, so Rogel, shall we do this, and then we will collect tomorrow morning?
Man, I don't really want to do it.
No? Okay.
I mean, it could be good money, but
Well, if we stay at the temple again, then we will need to pay another 5 silver, and I'm not paying for you again.
no, you wouldn't. I would still have silver afterward. I mean, we can do it, but how are we gonna do it? Who's coming along?
It would just be you and me, I think.
Okay,
Yes,
so then what's the plan?
I will
Yeah.
wait at the step.
Well, we could still make a profit if we bribe our way in, but don't exceed the silver reward.
Could one of us get in and the others pass stuff over the fence? Is it a tall fence?
It's rather open, and there's a small windows we could get through.
I mean, all we have to do is just dump it inside the warehouse and move on.
Just push it through a window with some cheese.
But you guys couldn't push a pig through a window when you were like not having destroyed legs.
So then we just pass on it and hoop-de-doo.
It's up to you. Do you want to make the money?
I have enough. I have food for a couple weeks for the trip. I can pay for tonight's lodgings. I'm good.
Okay, then I'm good. I don't think I want to
All right, so we'll get
risk
some rest,
any more injury.
I will meet you at the temple. I'm going to speak to the hook to let him know to burn the box.
Or that they could unload them on their docks on the fish.
Or they can just save it and use it as biological warfare weaponry later.
Eh,
You could give him the tip. He might still pay you.
it's possible. Okay.
Oleg strolls off.
Okay. You go and inform the individual. He's somewhat disheartened at you not doing the job, but shouts at a couple of his colleagues to see if they're up for it, which a couple of them do volunteer. He offers to give them 2 silver each. And
Oleg gives him a pat on the back.
Yeah, sorry. Crew's a bit banged up.
he shakes your hand, though, and thanks you for your work, and kindly asks that you don't repeat in front of too many others that there was an infestation here. It tends to be bad for business.
Repeat what?
And then he strolls out.
Okay, job done. And a reminder regarding accommodation, seeing as you did sort of travel to the slums, and there was mention last session that there is cheaper accommodation in the slums available, but that is one's choice.
I could go sleep in the slums.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oleg's used to it.
Yeah, get me away from this blasted church and these guys.
Ugh.
Okay.
Carl's going to
Gossip
be used to
test.
sleeping in those kinds of things.
Yep, your general knowledge would be that you can normally sleep in the poorer quarters of an area, but it does carry a little bit of a risk of normally catching something. Either lice, sometimes the trots, if you sample the food there, but given that you've only had a little bit of breakfast, you probably do need something to eat before the rest of the day, so yeah, one of the sort of low-life
And we
taverns.
we are leaving in the morning, so we might want to fill up for the night on good, decent food before we're just living on rations for the next forever.
Or we could find a nice tavern and then go sleep in the slums.
Dwarf ale?
Not that nice.
Oh, I agree. Dwarf ale. Let's go.
You're paying?
Get the cheapest this time.
Well, the
No.
lady promised us free beer if we took care of the goblins.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we could go back there
Yeah,
and eat.
but didn't she ask you to punch them? We worked for them.
Details.
I've got a broken knee to prove we did something.
It's true.
Okay. So you're going back to the tavern?
The tavern.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a couple talk to me again.
You head back to the tavern. It takes a little while to get back there. It's some 20 meters away, so 30 seconds later, you arrive. It's still in the same neighbourhood as to where you were, so you're welcomed in by the same barman who provides you with a seat and asks you if you'd like the same again.
I have a message for your
He
She asked us.
shouts her over. She's currently just sort of doing a little bit of food prep on the side, and as you seat at the table, she comes over. Hello. How'd it go?
It went, and you were right about the thing you saw. But if you have cheese here, I think it is better that you burn it because, well, think.
Oh, cheese?
I seem to have botched my knee a bit, and maybe there's a drink in it for us.
Give a charm test just to see how
plus,
much you get. Have a plus 20. I'll give you a drink.
Nothing.
I'm going to re-roll.
Okay.
I'm having such bad luck.
Was that with a plus 20?
Oh no.
So it's still...
No, I failed with.
It's still a
eight.
tiny fail, but it's up to you if you want to keep it.
Oh my god.
I tell you what, I'll give you a bit of bread for the road. Comes back with a little bit of slightly old crusted bread. Thank you for your reassurance. So, can I get you anything?
I suppose a nail.
I'm just gonna let you know that Rogel's just cackling while observing this.
Yeah.
Just laughing so hard at him trying to get a pity pat for his leg and completely failing.
Twice.
How bad is your charm? Is it 20?
No, my charm is 40.
Ah, right. Okay, so it would have been 60, the target, so it's still -3. Okay, yeah, you get a drink if it's -3, because it would have been... Oh no, the target roll is with the bonus, isn't it? Did you put the plus 20 on?
No, but it... oh. No, because I rolled the... No.
Yeah, okay, so you do get a drink out of it, just you.
Okay, then he's gonna look rather happy.
She thanks you
Even
for
with Rogel
reassuring a
laughing
girl.
at you.
Even with Rogel laughing at me.
She sort of pats you on the leg accidentally and trying to be endearing and sort of sets off a quick sharp shooting pain. Oh, sorry. Will you be eating?
Yes, I think so. Probably my companions. We have a bit of a rough day.
Okay. I'll get you some stew. Comes back with a bowl of stew each. It's 2 pennies a meal here. It's a light meal, so it's sort of not enough to keep you going for a day, but seeing as you've eaten twice, this would be enough for the evening. So at least you wouldn't have to brave the food of the rougher quarters.
Okay. Choice is going to walk back to the table where the others are sitting, and he's going to present his beer to Rogel.
Heck no, I don't drink.
You don't want, because you a funny little guy, but you did save us with your funny thing.
With my words.
Shadow puppets.
Yeah, you're singing.
Yes, I know. It's weird. Even I was weirded out about it when I found out that I could do it. So don't worry about being weirded out about it. But don't worry. That beer's yours.
Okay, well, do your health then. And he drinks it up all at once.
Okay. So, anything else you're wanting to do in town? Or here, for that matter?
No, Rogel is set on just relaxing and making sure that tomorrow morning goes without a hitch.
Okay.
Yep.
And we know where to all meet up tomorrow morning. Does one of us need to go inform Ludwig?
Most probably. He's still studying, presumably, so probably best to inform him where you're going.
Well, we know where to find him. He'll be back at the temple, so we can just meet there before we go and make our way to the I'm assuming the docks.
No, wasn't there a coach waiting for us, or didn't it say that in the
Yeah, was it we were going to was it a boat or a coach that we were taking? I would assume that it would have been a boat.
You, assuming you have the bit of paper on you, have a little read. You're meeting at a gate to begin with, but you also are due for a ferry later on, so it's a two-part journey. Coach to a destination, and then ferry for the rest.
So we can get up early, go meet Ludwig at the temple, and then we can make our way to the gate.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. So the more slummish sort of areas here you'd normally have a choice of rooms if you sort of ask around. You can either go for a common room or a private room. So the difference between the two is a common room you'll be sleeping with others as well. You would know this in-game knowledge that there is a chance that you will be pickpocketed at night if you sleep in a common room. Can happen.
Oh, absolutely not. Private room.
Private room, you would know the difference. There is a difference in costs. So,
yeah, well, that can't be avoided.
5 silver for the group would buy you a private room. Enough to house all of you and provide a meal, which you could always have in the morning instead. Alternatively, a common room would be half the price at 5 pennies each.
5 silver for 4 people?
Yes, because you're paying for the room. So it's 10 silver.
Yeah, so it's not bad.
10 silver for a private room. In this, not in this area, but in a cheap area, it's half price. So it's 5 silver. So it's not per head. You're just hiring a room.
Got it.
This place prices slightly differently because I've now read the book. So what's it to be?
Then I would pay. I'd put in a silver and a half for a private room if anyone else wants to match it, and then.
I can spare a silver and 4 pennies.
So we just need another 6 pennies. And
I'll spend my last silver then.
Okay.
Well, everyone has to either pay a minimum of a silver, but then we need to make up for the last silver. So I put in half for it.
Okay, I'll put in a silver and a half as well then.
Righto. So you pay for your lodgings for the evening. Are you resting the rest, or any plans for your evening in Altdorf? Say by now you've eaten, it's probably like 7, 8 o'clock. The majority of the town would be going to the beds as it's sort of night time, but...
Equipment overview, just to make sure that everything is up to snuff.
Yep.
Acid burns are scuffed off the leather. The wick actually works in the lantern, that sort of thing.
Okay. certainly can be done so. Anyone else have any plans for the evening before you nod off to sleep?
No, that's going to be about it. It's been a long day. A lot of interesting information. A lot of conflicting feelings. So
Indeed.
we'll just indulge in making sure that my equipment's up to snuff while, just feeling dejected. There you go.
Also making a request for breakfast of no cheese.
Yes.
Fair enough. No cheese is
Never
offered.
eat cheese again.
Right, and on that note, you all get a decent night's sleep ready for the journey ahead tomorrow. A little bit of food in hand and ready. I think quite a few of you had bought some supplies.
If any of you are still missing wounds, you can restore while sleeping.
Yeah, you can do another roll if you wish now, so I think it's just Carl and Oleg. So if you want to do a endurance test for me, we can see if you can heal up a bit more.
So the plus 20?
So a plus 2 for you, Carl. So it would be... So that would have been a plus 1 for Carl, plus toughness bonus. What's your toughness, Carl? 30... 5 wounds for you, and Oleg, I'm assuming you heal up to full.
I think that'll do it, yep.
Yeah, and Theo will just pop up to 5 because... There we go. Right, everyone rises and is ready to go, and that's where we will end the session, about to embark on a journey towards, well, who knows where. Some town, as you reference your map, in the arse end of nowhere, where you're then to catch a boat. But the word boat does fill you with a bit of excitement, Oleg. However, the cart beforehand does not. As we all know what happens on carts.
Fires.
We die.
Indeed. And
Trolls
on that
attack us.
bombshell, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Anyone that stopped on by, I'd like to shout out to the players for the particularly cruel combat encounter today. Snotlings going first was a little bit rough on the initiative order. They can dive very, very quickly, especially with the death blow rule, but unfortunately they can also deal a surprising amount of damage for such small things once they sort of climb on top of you and outnumber you. But thank you very much for stopping on by. Once again, shout out to Sirenscape for the music, Vermintide 2 for some of the background stuff, having pinched it from photo mode, and also a shout out to The Witcher for some of the music. Have yourself a lovely day, guys, and I will see you in 2 weeks for this, or 1 week's time for Dark Heresy, because we'll be playing a Dark Heresy game in 1 week. A simple one-shot, having a little bit of fun, but something to look forward to. So, look after yourselves.